Recording in progress.
All right, man.
Got
Welcome.
the you got my Twitter at over Dante's name.
Yeah, I know, because I thought you were going to be there. And I wasn't sure if you were going to use your at name because you didn't like that shit last time.
No, I liked it.
All right.
Just I don't know. Where's it? Yeah, stick it right over my face. I don't want anybody to see me.
Yeah, because you ugly as shit. All right,
Yeah.
man. Welcome back to another episode of Inspired by True Events Sports Podcast here. You got your co-host, Lawrence Elliott here. We got a special guest with us. I'm going to let him introduce himself. We got the usual ugly, and then you got my boy Kenny up there. Let everybody introduce themselves. Let me know how you feeling, how your week is going. Who wants to go first?
Just let Neil go last because we know how that's going to end up. My week is pretty good. Can't complain. 2 more days of work left, and then it's weekend time.
Who wants to go next? No, we'll leave Dante for last. Neil, you go.
Well, I was feeling good for a little while. Not gonna front, right? I felt good for a little bit, right? We had nice weather. Everything was looking up. Everything was looking good. And then Cam Akers tore his Achilles, doing some bullshit. So ever since that moment, it's been pretty shitty. So, not too good since then. But it's all good.
Everything will be all right. So you got
Next man up, right?
Yeah, next man up. No big deal. That's your motto, right? Running backs are replaceable.
Fuck running backs. Every single fucking running back in the league is a pussy. I'd play in a torn Achilles. Fuck out of here.
All right, bro. All right. And then we got Dante with us. Dante, introduce yourself for the people, and just give them a background resume of who you are and what you bring to the table, man.
So first of all, I just want to appreciate y'all for letting me on. I'm grateful for this opportunity. So whoever's gonna be watching this, my name is Dante, obviously. I'm actually getting back, hoping to get back into this opportunity of sports broadcasting and hosting podcasts again. A couple of years ago, I had my own podcast called Swoop Podcast back when I was in college. Once I dropped out of school, I just forgot about it and go back to it. Now, with this opportunity these guys are giving me, and with the new age world with technology that we're into and all of these social media platforms, I'm hoping that I can get back into it, and just starting to build up this platform. I mean, we all have a dream, right? And this sports has just always been my dream.
Right. It's definitely a pleasure to have you, man.
I appreciate that.
Everything, as we say, everything works out. This could be that's kind of what we kind of want to bring out and Inspired by True Events is like getting like how you, I don't know what is going on in your life exactly, but bringing you on here could be the spark to be like, all right, I'm ready to do this again. So we definitely, anything you need from me outside of this, you'll definitely let me know. You close with Rick and everything too, so you definitely got my support.
That, yeah. And I gotta wear the same luxury for my man Rick.
Luxury.
If he is watching, always gotta support my right hand man. So there it is.
Shout out to Rick. Let's go into the chat real quick. Oh yeah, Showboat Phil's not here because you over here. You taking our co-host. He's with you. I think he should be with you right now. You might be watching together. I'm gonna be linking up with those guys this weekend. I've had people triggered with my minimal basketball skills, so I got to participate in another IRL. Some people were really upset that I played basketball, and they are challenging me left and right for no reason. I don't know. I might have to start taking money bets at this point to win some money. Who else? We got
Money.
You got 215 Old Town. He said shout out. You got Tony Black. He said let's go Dante. You got we got Blurp in the chat too. What's good, bro? He said when did Dylan dye his hair? It's his facial hair. So I think he's talking about you now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
My name's Neil.
And he said, "What's up with the hoodies?" I don't know, man. What's up with the hoodies? Now I got something that I'm working on right now where I'll probably raffle some things off. Some stuff that I got made that I haven't even worn or even anything like that. But let's get right into it. Dante, let the people know what your favorite sports teams are, favorite athletes, things like that.
Just move over a little bit. That's all they got to see.
Well, first of all, praying. I'm hoping
I heard that they said that he's in the talks. I don't know what's going on.
And then 5 minutes later, they reported talks are not heating up between the Eagles and Texans. But I digress.
Listen,
let the delusional Eagle fans have their moment in the sun.
Well, first of all, you're a Falcon fan, bro. That's anything that needs to be said. Okay, you're a Falcons fan.
But we're at least we're realistic.
Okay,
I'm not out here.
Listen, I will say that. I will say that shit.
Realistically speaking, you guys are still invested into a 30-plus-year-old quarterback who he's not a winner. He doesn't have it anymore.
Led our team to the Super Bowl and has matched those Super Bowl numbers. Has never had the same offensive coordinator for more than 3 seasons. Has never had an offensive minded coach.
That sounds like a Falcons problem. That sounds like a Falcons problem.
Right, not a Matt Ryan problem. You're right. Thank you.
So I'm just gonna say for everybody right now, like, I don't want to ever hear shit about quarterbacks from a fucking Eagles fan. Never.
Hello.
Why?
Thank you.
Why?
What do you mean?
Why? Y'all backup quarterback. Hold up, Kenny. Let me hold up. Y'all backup quarterback won a Super Bowl, and y'all put a statue out front of him.
Hold on. Wait a minute. We are not about to do this. Y'all out the gate. Relax.
Wait,
First of all, hold on. First of all, let me just say this, right?
Yeah.
My team can win in the Super Bowl to this Falcons fan, right?
You're right.
My team wins in the Super Bowl.
No, there's no doubt. There's no denying that.
Right,
There is no denying it.
We're talking
There's
about
no
the way the
denying it.
organization is run.
All I was saying was this. The Eagles have won a Super Bowl recently, but all I'm saying is I don't want to ever hear shit about quarterbacks from an Eagles fan. Never.
Okay, look.
You
let
run
me
them all
just
out of
nip it in the
town.
bud for you, right? Well, first of all, we didn't run Nick Foles out of town. We didn't run him out of town. Secondly, the whole Carson Wentz situation, if there is a snake within that locker room and a snake within your upper management, what makes you want to play for them?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Y'all fucking ran his ass out of town. The minute y'all put a fucking statue up of your fucking backup quarterback,
you invested the bag in Carson Wentz and then put a Nick Foles statue up and then drafted a quarterback in the second round the year after. And then benched Carson Wentz. You're
right. But guess what,
terrible.
But guess what, though? I'm going to fall back onto we have a Super Bowl ring. You chose.
Oh, man.
First of all, y'all ran Jared Goff into the ground.
Oh, I didn't do shit to Jared Goff. His thumb broke off. That's all that happened with him.
Yo, I love this.
I can't say what I wanted to say.
Listen. I've had plenty of conversations on this
y'all
fucking
about
podcast.
to
we know that?
wait,
I'm just gonna say, time out
on a dude that's still crab legs.
Right, yeah, listen, we're all sitting here letting Lawrence get off the hook here. Like
y'all see his quarterback.
Taysom Hill.
That man stole crab legs.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Taysom Hill's gonna be the starter, so it ain't even Mr. Crab Legs.
Y'all see that this man that Lawrence got in his background couldn't even make it through fucking 6 pads. He couldn't even make it through the fucking pad drill.
What T.O. said? That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
But he's not. But he's not your quarterback.
What did I say from? Listen, we're not gonna switch. We're not gonna switch what I said. What did I say weeks ago?
I don't care about what you said.
I said whoever's quarterback, gonna have to rock with. I'm not gonna complain. It is what it is.
When Taysom Hill is
it is what it is. Like
quarterback.
One of them. One of those guys is gonna be quarterback. I gotta live with it.
For everybody watching right now, who I want y'all to put in the chat, who has the worst quarterback history out of the teams here? You got the Falcons, the Rams, the fucking bum ass Eagles, and the pussy ass bitch ass Saints. Who?
I'm automatically.
But it's evident though.
To be honest, yeah. Like, what are we talking about?
It's evident. It's obvious. The Eagles have the worst quarterback situation.
Now
going on.
Quarterback.
No, he's saying quarterback history.
Quarterback history.
Quarterback history.
Can't be the Falcons. We're the only ones with the league MVP. Oh no, Kurt Warner has one, doesn't he?
Kurt Warner has one and a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, no. So I mean,
Saints have had one quarterback forever. So
yeah, historically, them quarterbacks are ass though. other than Drew Brees.
But
historically,
that
when
don't-
were prior to Matt Ryan getting there, when were the Falcons good?
Mike Vick was
Mike Vick?
one of the most explosive players, and before that, we got to the Super Bowl.
I forgot about Mike Vick.
Before Mike Vick got there, we did get to the Super Bowl.
With whom?
Chandler. We ended up losing to the Broncos with John Elway and Terrell Davis, but we were.
So historically speaking,
we
the Saints.
Yeah,
The Saints, yes.
yeah, because
Yes.
they had
That-
to run with Drew Brees, but other than
Same.
Drew Brees,
that's
That-
pretty much it.
Before Drew Brees got
I wasn't
there,
trying to.
the Eagles
I wasn't
have
trying to talk shit about the Eagles at all when I said that.
Right, 'cause
I was trying to point the fact that the
Mike
Saints have been ass.
Randall Cunningham, Carson Wentz was an MVP level player. They won a Super Bowl with a
Don't
backup
forget about
quarterback.
McNabb.
Donovan
McNabb.
McNabb.
I said McNabb.
Oh, you just said
And then-
okay.
Then the
Okay.
Rams had, well, you really had Kurt Warner because Mark Bulger was ass. Jared Goff was ass.
Sam
We'll see how
Bradford.
Matt Stafford does.
What
Sam
about Sam
Bradford was
Bradford?
But
ass.
Drew Brees got here.
So,
what,
I mean-
2005, 2006?
So I mean, I guess you're in the same boat as the Saints. You had one good quarterback.
He don't care. He don't care. Look at his face. He don't care.
Yeah, like,
Unfazed.
but anyway, man, for everybody that's
I'm
tuned
unfazed
in,
because regardless of the situation, I'm gonna talk crap. I'm still gonna swerve my guys, and then
Oh,
chances,
my goodness.
if his legal cases clear up, that's my QB1.
That motherfucker is not playing
That's
football.
my QB1.
all right.
No.
Forget about even
That's
if,
my
if he does play
QB1.
football, he's not playing for the Eagles.
Okay, all right. Listen. All right, we're gonna get
There's
besides
no
it. We're gonna
team
get
in
besides
better
this.
position to get him besides the Philadelphia Eagles, bro.
We gonna
All right,
get,
what you got?
Listen,
What
we're
you
gonna
got,
get
Lawrence?
besides this. Everybody that's tuned in right now, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to this. Tell your grandmother to watch, your sister, your cousin, your nephew, everybody. You are tuned in to Inspired by Two Event Sports Podcast. It's getting spicy already. We only 10 minutes in, not even. You got the Falcons fan that thinks his team is the shit. Eagles fans just being an
He
Eagle
put words in
fan.
my mouth though.
And then the Rams fan that just knows it all. It's great. The Saints are a piece of shit. They
Neil,
don't know
you
what's
love how he's
going
put
on.
words in our mouth though.
You
Like,
know,
I didn't say I know it all.
it's just, it's
I
it's
did not say that.
unbelievable.
I didn't say I knew it all.
Unbelievable.
I did not.
The nonsense. He just
All
tried
right,
to stir
so-
the pot.
So what's early predictions for the NFL season, man? Right now, what's y'all thinking?
So I'm gonna
Early
have to.
predictions. Some hot takes.
I went out on a limb when I said the Rams are going to win 13 games this year. They lost their starting running back, but I think we're going to win 14 games this year.
Who?
The Rams. We're going to win 14 games this year.
Listen, nothing has happened yet, so I can't It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna have
know
to,
the division you're in is one of the toughest divisions, right?
I'm gonna.
That's right.
He knows
I'm
that.
gonna-
Like I had you guys as the number. I said the second best team in the NFC coming in before all the injuries and everything. But I didn't think 14 wins still because that division is so crazy.
Yeah, so
Like you could be the second best team in the NFC and you might still finish with like the fourth or fifth best record just because of that division.
yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say some other shit. I think 14 wins for us. I say we're gonna sweep the NFC West except the fucking 49ers. We're gonna lose both of them games.
Oh my god.
So the Seahawks, that's 2 wins. The
Okay,
Cardinals,
okay.
that's 2 wins.
He
And I also,
he said in the chat he must be drunk. The Rams 14 wins. Shaking my head.
yeah, and also one more hot take, freezing hot take.
But it can't be freezing hot.
It's freezing hot. The
It's
Tampa
piping
Bay,
hot.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to miss the playoffs this year.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, can I go next, guys?
Yeah. What's your hot
Okay,
takes and
please.
thoughts on the season, man?
Well, first of all, if we're gonna go based off of what I think the Eagles are gonna do, I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm not one of these out of pocket, unrealistic Eagle fans that just wear green goggles. Okay. Jalen Hurts really didn't show me anything last year. He played 4.5 games. He didn't really stand out to show that he's better than Carson Wentz or to show that he had any promise as a rookie. I mean, logistically looking at the numbers, it really wasn't there. But, outside of the quarterback play, our wide receiver room is, yes, we got the rookie in Devontae Smith, but that's a young rookie room. I mean, a young wide receiver room. You really don't have a veteran in that room that's gonna help out these young kids. I mean, you got Greg Ward, who's been in the league for 3-4 years now, but he's a converted wide receiver from a quarterback. Your best wide receiver is Devontae Smith. Jalen Reagor didn't have the year that a lot of people expected him to have. And Travis Fulgham was a late bloomer last season, and he did give you 3 straight productive games. But the coaching staff was so terrible, you took him out in place of Alshon Jeffrey for what? So there's really no vet there. Tight end wise, I think Goddard. I think they're doing Zach Ertz completely wrong. Goddard should have just been the tight end 1 by now.
How do you feel about him coming in the camp with blonde hair?
It's weird. It's a weirdo. Like, I don't.
Most good tight ends are weird, though. Think about it. Kittle's a character. Gronk is definitely weird. Kelsey's a character.
Well, Kelsey and Gronk, they're both. Well, no, Gronk is in a category by himself. He's just the.
Did you know we've been saying Kelsey's name wrong the whole time?
Yeah, it's Kels.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
His brother too.
Yeah.
No. He's got a fucking accent on it, so we can call him Kelsey. Like what?
No, realistically speaking, though, I'm gonna speak straight on. I'm not like this Rams fan who says 14 wins for the Rams.
Oh, these are hot takes. This ain't like you can be something.
But with the Eagles, though, what hot take can you have with the Eagles?
Oh,
I mean, there's
well,
really no.
I'd say if I was gonna say a hot take.
Okay, so hot take.
I would say they're gonna make the playoffs. That's probably a hot take.
No, they're not gonna make the playoffs. Let's just start it off there. I see this team having no more than 6 wins. If I'm gonna have a hot, I'm gonna have to say Miles Sanders is gonna have 1,600 yards combined with double-digit touchdowns. That's my hottest take there.
Okay.
To me, that's not even a hot take. That sounds very realistic in that offense.
Because it's like there's no expectations for this team going forward.
Mm-hmm. Right. And when you think about
if I had expectations, it'll be because this man is suiting up for Eagles uniform, but there's really no clarity there. That's just the fantasy that's just in my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Deshaun Watson, but right now I got to rock out with Jalen Hurts and see what he has. But until he shows me something that I can go based off of, there's no expectations for this team. I mean, another hot take. Eric Wilson will have triple digit tackles.
Who was it?
Eric Wilson would get to the 100 tackle mark. Eric Wilson. Remember, we signed him from the Vikings this offseason.
Okay. Well, now I would say hot takes in general, league wide. It could be your team. That's cool. For me, I think hot take. I'll say one for the Saints. I think if Jameis Winston plays, that he's pretty much a laughingstock right now on every day. When something comes out of the Saints camp, everybody thinks he's a joke, but I think he's gonna, if he gets the opportunity and plays well, he will play above expectation and really surprise people. That's my hot take. People right now are saying he's gonna play like garbage because he had 30 picks, 30 for 30, and all that bullshit. And then another thing is, I think the Browns will surprise the league way more than people think. I think what happened?
Well, where's the surprise with the Browns?
I would say, can we consider a surprise being that they were already like they're picked as the favorite in their division?
Yeah. Wait.
They're the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck else in that division?
They're definitely picking them over Pittsburgh. They're definitely picking them over Cincy.
Oh,
and
shit.
people are saying they're better than the Ravens. I don't think that's a hot take.
Oh shit! All right,
I
didn't know they were favorites.
And last year they were a Chad Henne first down away from going to the conference championship.
That's very true. All right, so I'm gonna say the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins this year too.
I like that one.
I like the Dolphins. I feel like their roster is pretty good. I think they'll do above average.
To make the playoffs?
Yeah. Why not?
You got too many teams coming out the AFC.
That's true. They are.
You got 7 teams now, though.
Yeah, you got 7 teams now.
It is 7 teams, but I can give you 7 teams in the AFC that's better than them right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And
it's
there's
not
two.
true.
There's two.
It's a hot take. It's a hot take. You're not about to. You're not about to change. You're not about to change my mind. You're not about to.
You said there's two inside their division?
No way.
There's one inside. Who? The other one?
Those in New England.
New England.
New England.
New England's not better.
No.
Okay, that's my hot take right there.
No. Okay.
New England's better than them.
Okay.
All right. I like it, but I'm gonna have to.
New England's better.
Respectfully, I'm gonna have to disagree with that one.
That's fine.
The roster is just too talented.
They have a fucking quarterback.
But see, in the NFL, it's proven that. Look at a team like the Bears. You could take a mediocre quarterback and still make the playoffs.
Yeah, but you gotta have.
Wait,
He had to stretch his legs.
He had to go get a beer. I would say with the Bears though, it's different because the Bears have had historically one of the best defenses every single fucking year, right? So you come into the league, you already know who's on the Bears roster. I mean, they had Khalil Mack, they had dogs forever. You look at the Patriots side of things, besides Bill Belichick and I mean,
yes,
sure they went out.
But look at the team. But look at the team last year, though. How many players
We're
decided
out.
not to play for
Right,
COVID?
right.
Okay,
They had
all right, but let's
they had
look at
double-digit players on the defensive side of the ball.
I'll give you this.
Right,
If you had Phil here, because he's a Patriots fan, and he would have been clapping because you just said that, because he was kind of saying that last year too.
But Pat Chung, who was one of those players, still retired this year, and the other dudes on defense are old as dirt. It's not like who was the Dante Hightower was their marquee guy that was out last year.
Yeah, who was the guy that's saving that season?
Does Dante Hightower turn them into a playoff team?
No chance. And
Probably
not when your quarterback has more rushing touctouchdowns than passing touchdowns.
And
we all knew what Cam Newton was, bro. We all knew what Cam Newton was once he started to hit that decline in Carolina. We all knew what he was.
He got COVID too, which we had talked about before.
Because pre-COVID, Cam Newton actually looked like
he was in rhythm.
Yeah.
Cam Newton.
He was in rhythm. And then after, it just wasn't.
No, he definitely was, because I had Cam on my fantasy team. I watched him every week. First 3 weeks.
You remember that
Cam
game
was
against the Seahawks, man?
He single-handedly
Battle game.
Then right after that, he got hit with COVID.
Listen, if you don't believe in Cam Newton, you can't tell me that the Dolphins are worse than the Patriots, because I don't know what else.
But what has Tua himself shown you though?
But Tua has more around him. That defense is great, and he has more weapons on offense.
They do have a good defense.
More weapons on offense, better coaching.
New England's defense is mediocre at this point because they're old. And then on offense, I mean, if any other team signs Jonnu Smith, Nelson Aguilar, and Hunter Henry, it's like no one even blinks an eye. But because the Patriots did it, we're like, oh, look at what Bill Belichick did. He stole the free agency. Like, I just if the Saints sign if the Browns sign them, no one's talking about it. Like, I don't know.
Right.
It's just,
right. No, that's a fact.
No,
that's a fact.
I get what you're saying in terms of it like that. But when you have one of the greatest coaches of all time, and when he has done things that no other coach has done, you still have to keep an open mind to that.
That's a fact. But let me break something down about Bill Belichick. Take out all the Tom Brady years, and Bill Belichick is under 500 coach.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he got run out of town in Cleveland. Then he took the job with the Jets for like a week, and then he jumped ship to go to New England. And then he was getting run out of town in New England. So he was getting run out of town in New England until Drew Bledsoe got hurt and Tom Brady saved his job. So, and then last year, Brady showed he can win without Belichick. Belichick did not show that he can win without Brady.
Well, first of all, let's just put it like this, right? When Tom Brady, we all knew where Tom Brady's top two destinations were before it even came out that the truth, before he even signed with Tampa. It was either going to be Tampa or it was going to be the Chargers. Let's just put it out like that. Why? Because those two teams have really, really good receiving cores. And I wasn't so I don't have it on record saying that he was going to go to Tampa, but I almost predicted that he was going to go to Tampa based off of what they had receiving wise. And they had an okay running back, but nothing too great. But it's like, have you ever noticed? And it's even not even just in football; it's even with basketball. When you have great players, they tend to have other players follow them to go want to play with them. Look at what we just seen the Lakers do.
Right, but look at
Tom Brady got a lot of players that come to Tampa that to want to play with him.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but look at I'm going to play the other side of this. Tampa Bay before Tom Brady, they had them same players minus Gronk, who wasn't Gronk. Let's be real, he was good, but he wasn't the Gronk he was in New England.
Bodies broken up and everything
right.
like that.
And they didn't have Antonio Brown, and again, but Antonio Brown was only there for half the season, and Antonio Brown was nowhere near the Antonio Brown he was in Pittsburgh, and the running backs that came in that were nowhere near the prime selves. So they had the same team virtually, except they subbed out Tom Brady and they had Jameis Winston. That team was a 7-9 football team, and Tom Brady won them a Super Bowl. So it's not like they were, we were right there, and Tom Brady came and made. No, Tom Brady made those players into Super Bowl winning players. I dislike Tom Brady, but I gotta respect. Like you can't take away.
Of course, you have to respect what he's done. You have to respect what he's done. But when you take a guy like Jameis Winston and take a guy like Tom Brady, you have to include the fact that Tom Brady has been there, done that. Tom Brady has been to plenty of Super Bowls. He's been in plenty of high played games with, playoff, implications on the line. So Tom Brady has been there. Okay. Tom Brady is basically a player and coach on the field.
Well, right. And that's why I'm saying.
But his resume also is gonna have players follow his lead.
But the only players that followed him per se were Gronk, which we all could agree Gronk was not the Gronk that he was. Antonio Brown, who again came half the year through and wasn't the same player, and then they traded for Fournette, who wasn't Fournette until the playoffs. He turned into Fournette.
And that roster was already something special.
That's what I'm saying.
People were very me and Kenny know. All we got to do is hope that Jameis Winston throw 3 picks a game. And we gonna win this game, but their roster was already made.
But I'm still giving that credit to Brady though, because yes, they were elite, and Jameis was Jameis, but I mean, it took from a 7-win team to a Super Bowl team.
They had dogs on the defensive side of the field, man. Every single position, every single fucking position on the defense.
But that Tampa defense was good before Brady got there.
Oh yeah,
I know. That's what we're saying.
I'm talking about the team as a whole, They
did not make the same mistakes they made with Jameis Winston there. The games that they should have won,
you had Todd Bowles too.
Todd Bowles with Tom Brady.
Todd Bowles coming there and
that's my point. That shows Brady is the reason. It's not.
You have a whole different defensive coordinator.
It was a great situation for Brady to jump into, but it's not like any quarterback could have come into that situation that wasn't named Jameis and done that.
Right.
They did that because it was Tom Brady.
Right.
And that defense was good because you got to add Todd Bowles, and what he likes to do is blitz and play man to man. Literally, it's literally beat me, and people couldn't do it.
I didn't get to do my hot take, and I like it. It's a good one.
All right, go ahead.
Justin Herbert leads the league in yards this year, gets 11 wins, and
MVP?
Finishes top 3 in MVP voting.
MVP votes?
Top 3 in MVP voting, leads the league in yards, and they get 11 wins to make the playoffs.
Okay.
That's a good question. That's a good point, actually, real quick. I would love to touch on that. Who y'all think is going to be the MVP this year?
Pat Mahomes.
And he's the safe pick, right? How do you ever pick against him? Because he's going to be good for 40 touchdowns.
If I didn't go Pat Mahomes,
I'm not usually delusional. I don't think Pat Mahomes is going to win the MVP this year. I don't think.
I've really been right. I think Justin Herbert has a real shot at it.
He does. Dude,
historically, the past couple of years, these second-year quarterbacks have been dominating. Josh Allen last year was close. The year before that was Lamar Jackson. The year before that was Pat Mahomes. The year before that, Carson Wentz was there until he got hurt.
You know what? Honestly speaking, you brought him up. I can't specifically say because I like Josh Allen a lot. But I also do like Aaron Rodgers to possibly win MVP.
I can totally see him doing the fuck you tour and winning the MVP on the way out the door.
Back to back.
He won't be. I don't think he'll get to the Super Bowl.
Well,
no, I think you're MVP season.
For me, for how the team is looking.
Taysom?
Nah, I'm saying AK, man.
He's saying Alvin Kamara.
I'm saying AK.
You know they don't give that award to running backs.
Hey, listen. You're not answering the question though. I am.
Bro, I'll tell you what. Listen, I mean, I love the picks, right? I love the picks. I love the quarterback picks, the running back picks.
Here we go, Aaron Donald.
It has to be Aaron Donald. He needs to get an MVP, man.
Oh, so hold on, Dante. A little backstory. Neil just thinks Aaron Donald is the best defensive player ever.
What do you mean? Thinks he is
the best defensive player ever.
He literally is.
I can't argue against. I mean, it's hard to kind of argue against it.
Bro, but it's not like
he's the best defensive player I've ever seen. Let me just say it like
he's
that.
He's the best defensive player of all time.
Of our generation that we've seen.
Of our generation, I can say. Because when you take the older generation, they're going to either say Lawrence Taylor was the best defensive player of all time.
That dude. Literally.
So it's like
you've got people that played against Lawrence Taylor that have said it multiple times on fucking record that Aaron Donald is better.
Who?
What?
Who?
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. You heard me. No, you heard me.
The fucking dude who announces the games with Joe Buck's bitch ass.
Troy.
I was just asking. Yeah, I was just asking.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, can I say something that's crazy about the Rams defense? Could you imagine back in the 90s having Lawrence Taylor and Primetime on the same team? That's what the Rams have. They have the best corner and the best defensive lineman of our generation on the same team.
That's crazy. It really is crazy. But back to what I was going to say. I think AD this year, they got Raheem Morris, who I think is probably top 5 defensive minds in the league. I think he
should have been a head coach this year.
He's going to come up with some crazy shit with that defense that we have. We brought, obviously Jalen Ramsey's there. We lost defensive backs because we sent every fucking buddy over to fucking Cleveland for some reason. But I think this is the year. I think
because you had to save money for
we needed to save money
for everybody that you just gave massive contract, and it's okay because by next year you'll trade them all because that's the Rams.
That's what we do. Baby.
Overpay and then ship away.
Hell yeah, fuck out of here.
Overpay and ship away.
Donald will have a legitimate chance if the numbers can speak for it.
Yeah, he's got to have
nowadays,
right?
Because nowadays everything is analytics.
Right.
So if analytically speaking, if the numbers can match it, I'd say he has a legit chance. But if it's let me give you an example, like the Eagles, right? Fletcher Cox is good at what he does, but a lot of people write him off based on the fact that the numbers aren't there. So if Aaron Donald's numbers aren't there and the rest of the team's numbers aren't there defensively, you're gonna have these number dudes who don't understand the concept of X's and O's of football. Well, the numbers say something else, so we can't, give Aaron Donald a legitimate chance.
Does he go if he doesn't?
Which is why Aaron Donald doesn't have more Defensive Player of the Year awards for that exact reason.
Because he gets triple teamed every fucking play. But if this year, if he doesn't win the MVP, will he go back to back Defensive Player of the Year? Will he go?
I don't see why he couldn't.
No. Bro, I don't see why he couldn't, but I do see we got to.
He's definitely most dominant. He's definitely most dominant.
Right. He's definitely most dominant. But TJ Watt, he could put up numbers. But in the same breath, we also saw when TJ Watt was the only pass rusher in Pittsburgh after Bud Dupree went down, his numbers declined. He was still great. I mean, but he wasn't on the same pace that he was.
He's not. He is not that dude.
He's not that guy.
Oh, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to go that far.
I can't say that. I can't go
exactly.
He's not that dude.
It's just when you know that the team only has one pass rusher. It's far easier to stop one pass.
I will also say this though about the TJ Watt situation. Aaron Donald had 20 plus more pressure than TJ Watt coming off the edge.
I'm not arguing that Aaron Donald should have won. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying TJ Watt was the closest player to him, and that's going to be possibly his only competition, especially now with no Bud Dupree. If TJ Watt puts up those numbers, there's going to be legitimacy.
He has a better chance, right? If he's the only person on that team. But yeah, so MVP, I gotta go with my man AD. I think it's about time the league recognizes somebody other than a fucking quarterback for once. Because that
ain't gonna change.
Honestly, I think the year that he broke the sack record, was the year he was gonna win MVP. But of course, that's the year Patrick Mahomes went off for 55.
Yeah, we're not
never giving it. Never.
But I will say the year that
10,000.
Brady, Brady won his MVP, Gurley should have got it. That's Todd Gurley's MVP, sitting Brady's mantle.
Yeah, agreed. He won Offensive Player of the Year, though. All right, Lawrence, what else you got for me?
Y'all, man, y'all, listen. I love this. I'm gonna watch this episode back a couple times, man. I'm still thinking about
Watch
that
while I
intro.
work tomorrow.
The intro got spicy, man. I didn't even get the intro. Shit.
Oh,
Listen,
we got a
just said
big.
it was.
I got
it
a
was
big
a
announcement
welcome,
real quick.
He let
Phil's
us know
in
where
the
it
chat,
was.
right? Yeah, Phil's in the chat. Big announcement. We've actually replaced Phil with Dante. In case y'all are wondering why Dante's here and Phil's not.
Listen, bro.
We had a group.
Shut your ass up, man.
And
Shut
Phil's
up.
fucking out. So
Shut up.
peace out, Phil.
You're bugging. This guy's tripping. He said nah, no, and they're capping already. I just got here. 215 Old Town. Shout out to you, man, for tuning in. Appreciate it.
I gotta know
Nick.
what Phil.
I believe
texted,
that's
bro.
my brother, probably.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's in the chat heavy. He said don't talk about TB12 without my permission. So I'm guessing he a Patriots fan.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. My brother got the knee pads on for TV, and
Oh,
man.
shit.
I apologize.
Yo,
but
you're
welcome here anytime, bro.
Yeah, you IBTE sports material.
Oh,
when it comes to Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, man, me and my brother go at it back and forth.
Wait, so what's his favorite team though?
His favorite team?
Yeah.
Oh, he's an Eagles fan, diehard Eagles fan.
Okay.
But
what the fuck is he like Tom Brady for?
So let me just put it like this, right? Like
I could never dick ride another fucking man that's not on my team like that.
And my brother's defense, it's like when you grow up as a basketball fan, it's like, you could be a Sixers fan or a Brooklyn Nets fan, but you like LeBron James because you respect the greatness he brought to the game. So like I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but I'm a Pat Mahomes fan. Why? Because he's the greatest quarterback that's gonna be of my generation. So I'm a Pat Mahomes fan, and respect you know what, Neil? I will put the knee pads on for Pat Mahomes. He's the greatest quarterback so far that I've seen. Right. So it's skill
set wise, it's him and A-Rod, bro. Like skill set wise, it's
to me, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that it factor. Like he's really great at what he does, and putting up the numbers and X's and O's.
Nah, we saw
he's not a winner.
Though? No,
Aaron
to
Rodgers
me,
is not a winner.
Aaron Rodgers has that LeBron problem where he could do it and make it look so easy that we just take it for granted. Like the shit he does is not human too. That's just true. Like the stuff that Mahomes does is otherworldly.
Yeah, like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was like full display on how truly great Mahomes was. Like,
100%.
Because he was doing everything in his power to like win that game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, see, Aaron Rodgers, to me, like, I have that same respect for him because the stuff he does is just, it's nuts. It doesn't look as flashy as Mahomes, but he does crazy things.
I got to be honest, like, Aaron Rodgers to me is just not a winner. Like, and he has, to me, my opinion, he has a sore loser mentality. And let me explain why I believe he has that sore loser mentality for a second. You just caused this whole entire scene throughout the offseason just to come back. Okay, no problem. And in sports, what do we always say? Defense wins championships. So you just had a top 3 offense in the NFL for the last 3 years. You complain when they don't draft an offensive player in the NFL draft when your offense is not the problem. It's the defense that can't get you over that hump.
Well, let me argue this for you. Are they a top 3 defense only because Aaron Rodgers is that great? So what if we bring in another person? Are we now the best offense and we win the game? Because they were a touchdown away. Forget their defense. Yeah. Their offense was a touchdown away from winning the game.
Now let me say this against Tampa, right? Against Tampa.
But that's who you got to beat.
Brady had two interceptions. He had two interceptions
so his defense
in the fourth quarter.
Right,
yeah, so that's where I come in with the Aaron Rodgers is not a winner because I'm not gonna say any other quarterback, but any other great quarterback would have won that game.
Disagree with that.
I disagree with that too because when you look at
our
offense, because their offense,
no weapon.
So Devontae Adams is not a top 2.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Listen, that's what when I play the Packers,
Robert Tonyan didn't just go off for like 700 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Okay, Robert Tonyan had 1 year. I'm not going to give
Aaron Jones is not a good running back.
If I'm a defense,
Neil, I see you shaking your head. He's not a good running back.
No, he is not. He is not a top 5 superstar caliber running back. No.
If I take away
He's
Devontae
not.
Adams,
He's not.
if I take away Devontae Adams, okay, I'll try beat me with Aaron Jones and Robert Tonyan.
Right.
Like
I'll live with that.
Right
I'll live with getting beat by Aaron Jones, Robert Tonyan, Mercedes Valdez, Scantling, whoever the fuck else they had.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
and that's Rodgers' only argument. Give me some other
name.
Give
me
anybody.
something that's anything besides Devontae. You know, I got Devontae Adams. All right, that's cool. But give me somebody else. Give me literally anybody else.
I don't even think he wants like an upper echelon name. Like anything. Give me
like a mid tier.
Michael Gallup.
Give me like a Robert Woods, Michael Gallup.
Well, okay, so so we're gonna see what happens now that he just got Randall Cobb.
But no.
No way.
Randall
Cobb's 40 years old.
Randall Cobb, though.
At this point, Randall Cobb is the worst version of Cole Beasley.
He don't mean nothing. And if I'm any of those receivers that are already there and he getting reps, I'm mad.
I'm pissed. I'm tired.
I'm mad, bro. You just brought a 33-year-old in? What? Like
33? He older than that.
But he wanted him though.
No, Ray, he wanted him.
Put out there he wanted Randall Cobb back.
Right, but you know why he wanted Randall Cobb? Because he know that's the only person they're going to go out and get for him.
There's plenty of players that they can go get.
For example,
but the offense is not the problem.
On the open market. You saw all it took was a couple of second-round picks. You think Green Bay was going to give up second-round picks for Julio Jones? No chance.
When all of that went down, was Aaron Rodgers committed to come back?
Do you think that if Green Bay went out and got Julio Jones, don't you think Aaron Rodgers said Devontae Adams, Julio Jones? Okay, I'm in.
You're right. Maybe, but we don't.
But guess what?
We don't
know. Even if I don't know Aaron Rodgers is coming back, if I got to play with Jordan Love, you don't think that's a phenomenal situation for my second-year quarterback to have Devontae Adams and Julio Jones lining up? Well, which one do you guard?
Can Jordan Love prove that he's a winner?
Okay, but that's my point though.
So he's gonna have growing pains the moment you stick him in there.
Right, but wouldn't it be easier to grow with Julio Jones and Devontae Adams than Devontae?
Of course it is. Of course it is. But there's just some things that a quarterback has to develop on his own. It doesn't matter who you have as a receiver, as a weapon. We can see that because. But
my point, Green Bay has time and time again shown they're not completely invested in giving weapons to their offense.
No, they never have.
They've shown time and time. Like, look at
what offensive star have they ever brought in via free agency?
Hold on. Let's look at a long list of players that Aaron Rodgers has played with, and he only has one Super Bowl to show for it.
Yep.
But who? Give me the long list.
He didn't play with Jordy Nelson.
Okay, they didn't bring.
He has Devontae Adams.
Okay, so but he never.
They
played
have
with
a long list
both of them in their prime. Donald Driver, first of all, was on his last leg.
Right.
That cannot give that.
So he said Devontae.
A list of receivers.
He had Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb
in his prime.
He had Donald Driver. But he had Greg Jennings.
He never had
Jordy Nelson. Don't forget about
Jordy Nelson.
Did he ever have multiple of them at the same time in their prime?
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever.
He had Greg. He had Jordy Nelson was just coming up, and Greg Jennings was on his way out.
Which was the same thing with Jennings and Donald.
James
and then he
Jones,
had Devontae Adams when Jordy Nelson was getting worse. He's never
forgot about James Jones.
James Jones, Randall Cobb.
He didn't have
him
at the same time. Is what you're telling me?
In their primes.
He didn't have. In their primes, he didn't have what's his name?
He had.
What's the dude you just named?
This was his receiving core all at once. I believe he had. It was Greg Jennings on his way out.
He had
Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb, and James Jones. He had those guys at the same time. But Greg Jennings was old.
James Jones, an old Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson just coming up, and a very young Randall Cobb. None of them were in their prime.
But James Jones was a touchdown machine.
So let me ask you.
But James Jones was a touchdown machine because he played with Aaron Rodgers. James Jones was never a top 30 receiver.
He had Jordy Nelson and James Jones together. They were.
Let me ask you this. Okay, why is it that throughout the regular season you put up these amazing numbers, and you're always considered to be the best quarterback in the league, and offensively speaking, through the numbers, analytically speaking, you're always a top 5, top 3 upper echelon offense. But when it comes to the playoffs, nothing happens.
Because
defenses
step up
exactly. So you just proved my point to me, though.
But because the point is his defense.
Phil, you stupid.
Right or wrong. No. So hold on.
No, because their defense.
All three of y'all just.
You're gonna let me finish. Because their defense
Kenny
is
and
good
Neil just said because of the defense.
Hey, Neil's you ready to let us tell why?
Wait, hold on. So hold on.
Because their defense is good enough to stop them, but their offense is not good enough to counter the other team's defenses, like we just saw in Tampa. Because their defense stopped Tampa and had a chance to win the game.
Right.
Their offense could not score the touchdown.
All right, so let's listen. We gonna have to move forward though. We're gonna have to move forward. This is the last topic. What do y'all?
Nigel?
No, Nigel's not coming in yet. He's in the waiting room, but we have football right now. Last question here. How do y'all feel about Carson Wentz getting hurt for another time?
Yes.
How do y'all
Forget
feel?
the getting hurt thing.
I'll say he's injury prone. I didn't want to believe it. He's injury prone.
Listen, forget the injury prone thing. This man, Nick Foles, lives rent free in Carson Wentz's head because who's going to come in and replace him now? It's going to be Nick Foles. And what Carson Wentz is never going to have.
Did you see his press conference?
No, I didn't see the I can't. Oh, Nick Foles? Yeah. Where he's
basically was like, shit,
I love Frank Reich. It was the best time of my life playing
under.
I love Nick Sirianni. It was the best time of my life playing underneath him. They built the offense around me. I know how to win with those guys.
He literally said once Carson Wentz got hurt, he got into the presser. He said, I'm at third string. I'm open for trades. Call me.
He said.
So basically, he might be going to the Colts. And
listen, if he goes to the Colts, the Colts may as well trade Carson Wentz tomorrow because if Nick Foles comes from the same quarterback room as Carson Wentz, he'll never be the same again.
I'll tell you what. If Nick Foles goes to the Colts, Carson Wentz is he's out for 6 weeks. He's not playing again.
No. 5 to 12.
5 to 12. They said it's gonna be. What was the injury? Did they even say?
It was a foot injury. They didn't specify what it was.
He probably had a stress fracture or something.
Regardless.
Yeah. If Nick Foles comes in.
Let's say he's got 7 weeks, all right? Let's say he's got 7 weeks from now, all right? He comes in, Nick Foles, they bring Nick Foles in. Carson Wentz is not coming back to play. He's not playing football again the rest of the year.
What the Colts do is going to tell you how they feel about the future. If you truly believe Carson Wentz is a franchise quarterback, you cannot bring in Nick Foles. You can't.
And this is good. Isn't this good for the Eagles because they get a higher draft pick, don't they? For him not playing?
So the way it works is that if the Colts miss the playoffs, Wentz has to play 75% of the snaps. But if they do make the playoffs, it can reduce 5% to 70% of the snaps.
What a crazy trade.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So here's my thing, right? I was trying to do the math off the top of my head, assuming that Wentz got the surgery the day after the news broke. The 8-week period, that 2-month period would be by week 3. So with the NFL bringing on that 17th game, they can still possibly go 1-1, 0-2, 2-0, whatever, that 2-week period would be.
Mm-hmm.
He can come back by week 3 and still play that snap percentage to give us the first round picks.
Right. And to me, the thing is,
But that was just assuming he did get the surgery the day after. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. If you think he's going to be back week 3, you don't bring any quarterback in because there's no need to start that nonsense. Only way you bring
Don't they have a good backup?
Well, they just drafted Jacob Eason.
What happened to the other dude?
Sam Ellinger.
Kobe Brissett?
Yeah, what happened to Brissett?
He left.
Yeah.
Did he leave?
Yeah.
Because he said, I'm not sitting behind old man Rivers no more. But that's what they better call up.
Bro, they had this man running on the field for first and second down snaps. I'm out of there. I'm like, right now. Like, what is this, bro? They were really like, it was a running back by committee at quarterback, bro. I'm like,
I watched the game one week, and it was first and goal from the 1, and Jacoby Brissett was in for the QB sneak.
Andrew Luck coming back?
No. He's done.
Listen, but if you bring in Nick Foles, you have to trade Carson Wentz tomorrow.
Bro, that
how do you
had a chance?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
No, Nick Foles had a chance to display what he said last year when they benched Trubisky. And Nick Foles didn't really display
he went out there
anything
and basically had the game. Listen, he had the Saints beat and just gave that shit away. That was
I do not disagree with you at all. I'm just saying if the Colts are silly enough to trade for Nick Foles, you can't have Carson Wentz and Nick Foles and quarterback. It doesn't work.
I personally don't think that's something they would do just because of cap reasons. He's getting $22 million.
I think the only way they bring him in, because the Bears got to do something. They got too much money tied up in. So If he gets caught, maybe they'll bring him in, but I don't know.
All right,
First of all, if I'm any
Quentin Nelson
NFL
got the
team,
same injury too.
Yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
bro. I'm telling you, it's got to be a stress fracture. That's literally camp.
Yeah.
Like that's like a camp injury just from all the running and everything. Like,
you see, here's my thing. If
happen.
I'm any NFL team, I'm not bringing Nick Foles into my building to get paid $22 million just to be a backup, just to sit there with a clipboard and a pen. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
And that's why the
not
Colts
smart.
are right now the only team that makes sense because you need a starter.
All right, last thing here. Who do you guys think is gonna have the best defense in the NFL for the season coming up? Best defense.
It's evident. It's obvious, bro. The Rams. They got the best shutdown corner. They got the best NFL defensive player in the league. Their linebacking core is outrageous, and they just signed, what was it, Josh Johnson, I think his name is.
As long as they're healthy, it's the Rams. But for the sake of being different, I'll just say the Dolphins because the Dolphins were there, and Brian Flores is a hell of a coach. They got those guys, and if Xavier Howard just if he buys in and doesn't want to get traded, you have two great corners. I could see the Dolphins making noise.
Just give that man that $3 extra $1 million.
That's what I'm saying. Like at that, we're saving pennies at this point.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just pay that man. Why they don't just give him this
$3 million in the NFL is chump change.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like my boss giving me a 50-cent raise.
Basically.
I don't know. I guess for the sake of being different as well, I'm gonna say the Rams, just because fuck anybody that doesn't think it's the Rams. Aaron Donald's gonna have 20 sacks this year. It's gonna be nuts. It's just gonna be nuts. And Jalen Ramsey, I really honestly think that Raheem Morris and Jalen Ramsey are gonna do something crazy this year. Like I seen what Raheem did in Atlanta with like ghosts for defensive players. Like they would the ball would just.
That's very nice of you.
Well, the ball would just go through them like they were translucent.
I think we only had 2 players playing defense, or 3. We had Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, and AJ Terrell. Other than that, we played 3 and 11 every week.
And they still did work.
We were 1 interception away from beating the Chiefs. Like what?
So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I would say watch out. I would say watch out for the Chargers defense just because they got Brandon Staley, who was our defensive coordinator last year. And our defense was number 1, literally statistically number 1 in the league last year. So Brandon Staley's no joke. I think the Chargers could definitely go up there as well. Top 3, I think.
All right. I like that.
What about you, pussy?
People be testing me every day. Like, listen, man, don't be talking to me like that. All right?
Pick a fucking defense.
First off, I'm going to say...
If you're saying New Orleans, I'm closing the chat right now.
He's not saying New Orleans.
He's saying New Orleans.
No, but why does
listen, hold on. Listen, quarterbacks, I don't know who my quarterback gonna be. I might just be a delusional fan like the Giants fans this year. I'm gonna say the Saints, man. Because we ain't got Drew Brees. I don't know what's gonna happen this season. We could go 0-17. We could go mid. We can even surprise. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm kind of panicking, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna say the Saints, just because.
Your quarterback's gonna line up and play safety this year.
Chill. Versatile. Also, he's a football player.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we about to bring Nigel in. So everybody that's tuned in right now, we about to talk about the NBA free agency. My boy Nigel hit me up, was like, I gotta get in on the madness on the sports podcast. I'm about to bring him in right now, though.
Yeah, that was great though for football because it's been a while.
Yeah,
I had a lot to get off my chest.
I was gonna say, Dante, we haven't talked about NFL in a while. Like
Uber's rehab is in the building.
Uber's rehab.
Nigel Dunkley.
I'm kind of glad I got in here to spice it up.
Yeah,
What's good,
for
fellas?
sure.
Yo.
What's good, man?
What's happening?
Listen, introduce yourself. Do your plugs. What you got for the people, man?
I don't know what you mean by plugs.
Yeah, your business. Your goddamn business. Your business, bro.
You're not a business, man. You're a business.
Business, man. Yeah, man. Hooper's Rehab. You know, we on everything: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
You gotta stop shaking that camera. I'm gonna throw up.
Check us out, man. I'm on my phone tonight.
You gotta stabilize that fucking phone. I'm gonna puke.
I'm gonna put it right
Yeah,
here.
put that shit down for me. Thank you.
But yeah, man, go follow Hooper's Rehab. All you basketball players trying to get your game right, trying to get your body right. Tap in.
Right.
And Hooper's Rehab has a King of the Court tournament this weekend, correct?
Yes, we got a 1v1 tournament going on at the Parkway Rec Center. This is tipping off at 12 with the high school bracket. You know, game to 7, all ones, 3 dribbles. Doing a 10-second shot clock for high school, and we'll get into the college bracket at 1.
Nice.
You know, spectators are encouraged. We do need a crazy atmosphere. We need some fans there, so pull up. But yeah, it's going down.
3 dribbles hit different.
If you can't, that's how one-on-one is played, because this whole dribble diarrhea nonsense, that's not how you play real basketball.
For sure. It's going to be a lot of exposure.
All right, so let's get right into the NBA here, man. We had the draft. What was the draft? How far?
Thursday.
Last week.
Okay,
yep.
So yeah, me and Phil, we kind of tit on it a little bit. Who do you guys think were some big winners and losers in the draft for the NBA draft?
I thought the Pistons did great. I mean, obviously they're the number 1 overall pick, so it's hard to do bad, but they hit, I feel like, all their picks. Another team that I thought did well was the Hawks, bringing in Sharif Cooper. He was a steal of the draft. I couldn't believe he was available when they grabbed him.
That's going to be a tough backcourt.
Yeah.
Trae Young and Sharif Cooper, and they just re-signed John Collins. Like, I like what the Hawks are doing. I thought the Knicks traded back a little too much, in my opinion, like, because I feel like they were a piece away and they just kept going back and back. They grabbed Quentin Grimes, who he's a dog. He's a Tom Thibodeau type of player, but I don't know. I feel like they just traded back a little much for my liking.
I definitely
like what Houston was doing.
I was gonna say I like Houston, and I think without a doubt Golden State have definitely won this offseason so far. The draft, I think they got an A in the draft for me, and picking up Otto Porter, that's huge in free agency. If Klay Thompson can come back and be,
you think Golden State won the offseason?
So far, I think so. I mean, Golden State already has. I mean, they already have everything they need. They already have every single thing they need. They have James Wiseman, who's going to be great. They have
Agreed.
They have Steph Curry, the best point guard in the league. They got Draymond Green, who's a beast at every position he plays. I mean, it's a complete team. And I think Otto Porter's pickup, I mean, yeah, he was in fucking Chicago, which fuck Chicago, but I think Otto Porter can do work. So, and I think they drafted well as well. I just don't sleep on Golden State.
I like what Golden State did, because like they took a risk on Jonathan Kuminga, because he might not be ready immediately, but then he grabbed a guy like Moses Moody.
Stop it, he's ready.
Yeah,
Kuminga is ready.
He is ready to fucking go. He's gonna hold.
Well, I mean, after watching, but like pre-draft, there were questions about is he ready to step in day 1 and be a contributor.
He's a great
I'm not
pickup.
saying he wasn't, but that was some of the things you saw. But then you saw they took the safe pick with a guy like Moses Moody, who he doesn't have a high ceiling, but his floor. He doesn't have a high ceiling, but he has a high floor. So to me, like you said, Neil, I thought Golden State did some good things.
Right. I mean, you got Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. You add those draft picks, and you add Otto Porter so far. I mean, obviously, listen. I think
I really like what Houston did, because they took Jalen Green obviously at 2, and then you still got KPG over there, and you draft what's his name, Josh Christopher, from Arizona State. And then you got Christian Wood over there, who if he stays healthy next year, Houston is doing something.
Right.
They're gonna make some noise. So I thought they had a great draft. I thought Detroit had a great draft. Golden State. I actually like Charlotte too. I like the move Charlotte made with Buck Knight. He's gonna be the truth. So
I'm gonna go with a different route here. I did like what the Raptors did, taking that kid from Florida State. But the team that I felt really had a complete overall good draft was the Orlando Magic. I think the hit on Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner, I think those are 2 NBA-ready players. And mind you, in the NBA, it takes a couple years for a player to develop. You know what I'm saying? It's not, unless it's like an elite NBA player that we know is going to come right in and be an elite superstar. But I really like the way that the Orlando Magic are headed.
I'm still trying to figure out why they drafted Suggs, honestly.
Right. Well, I think
Because you got
you can't
got
pass on him
Fultz.
at that point, though. Right, but you can't.
Is he
pass
gonna
on
put?
Jalen Suggs
You can't pass at Suggs on that. At that point, you can't pass.
Yes, I get
But
what
you
you're
drafted
saying.
Cole Anthony last year.
I
I
get
hear
what
you.
you're saying, but every team, whoever goes into a draft drafting for fit, kind of sometimes, most of the time, screws themselves over. So in that situation, you go best player available.
Because I don't think
Markelle
anyone in
Fultz-
America thought Jalen Suggs dropped to 5.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I didn't think a lot of players would do
Jalen
that.
Suggs dropping
people.
to 5. Like, you can't pass him.
I mean, also,
Yes.
I'd say what if we're not talking lottery picks, right? If we're talking just other draft picks. I mean, and obviously not lottery. You gotta look at what the Brooklyn Nets did too. I think they got a steal at 27, right? I mean, Cam Thomas, and that's a steal at 27. What do you average points per game wise at LSU? I don't even. 24, 24
But
points
then-
per game.
First of all,
I think that's a
anybody
steal.
that's come out of LSU the last 10 years has been a disappointment.
Oh, that sound like it hit different right there. Hold
That's
on.
a different
That
feeling.
That sound like that hitting home right there.
Yep. Yeah, he's
Home,
still
that shit
there.
hurt to the heart. That shit hurt to the core.
What's going on with him over there? They doing anything with him?
They're asking too much for him.
Let's see what he
Honestly, the reports that came out today was that he's distanced himself from. Well, obviously, every player in a major, in whatever their respective sport is, doesn't really communicate with upper management. A lot of that is dealt with their agency and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the report that came out today, this cryptic report said that he's not even responding to teammates. That one is a little bit unusual and odd when you don't respond to teammates. Then that just shows that you don't want to be here.
Who's
Like,
this your
check
teammate?
out.
100%.
Benny.
Ben Simmons not responding to teammates, and I think
he's
when they
outta
say
there.
quote unquote teammates, Joel Embiid is the first person that comes to my mind. He's toast. He doesn't.
But the
wanna
thing
ever
is,
step
though,
back here.
but Philly can't win with Ben Simmons and Embiid. It's a fact. We know this. So, and we know they're not getting rid of Embiid. So I think Ben Simmons understands that, and he's just ready to go. With Philly, they're asking too much for him. Like, after what we just saw in the playoffs from Ben Simmons, no one's going to give up multiple first-round picks and multiple starters for him.
Here's my response to that. If Ben Simmons really wanted to be gone and dealt from the Sixers, then he screwed himself over by not playing for Team Australia. Because the best way he could have did was, in order to build that trade stock back up, you go play for Team Australia. You show what you have in a bigger, I guess, set of games, I guess you could say, because now the world is watching. It's not just, in the NBA, it's a worldwide spread game. So, like, people all around the world are watching, but you're
I
playing for something
understand why
much
he
bigger.
didn't play.
It cuts both.
I understand.
It cuts both ways. Me too, because
I understand because if he goes out there, because if he goes out there and plays like ass, then that draft stock, all that trade stock drops even more, and that's exactly what would have happened.
If he goes, even if he plays just like he did in the playoffs, guess what? You're going to say, "Oh, it's not a fluke. This is legit how this kid plays.
How this kid plays ball." Right.
At least now you might have some GM saying, "Well, I can fix that."
That's another way of looking at it. That's another way of looking at it. But
and some of these dudes don't like to play for their native countries because after they gain residency, like in USA, they can then play for Team USA. Like, for example, Kyrie could have played for Germany years back because his dad was in a military base there, and he waited, and he was able to play for Team USA eventually. So some of these guys rather play for Team USA in the future. Not saying Ben's may ever be good enough to play for Team USA, but that could be how he's looking at it.
I don't care what it is, man. Ben's a bitch.
That's a fact.
Bitch.
Jeez.
I don't think he loved hoop.
I don't think
so either.
He's very.
To me, that's the vibe I
content
get
with
from
his
him. You
game.
don't really, yeah. He's
I
content
feel like
with being in the league and living the lifestyle. He don't really care about who.
I feel like
That's
you
the
can,
vibe I get.
from his time in LSU,
Kardashian
you can see he
effect.
didn't love basketball. But not even because his
Fact.
time at LSU, you can just watch him and like when you're the clear cut best player in college basketball, there's no reason your team should not make the NCAA tournament. Like 68 teams get in, his team didn't get in. Like that right there told me all I need to know about Ben Simmons.
Bro, the fact that you are in the NBA and can't shoot free throws and you can't elevate your game at all, that's a clear-cut fact. You don't love who?
Well, here, it's a difference
don't.
between can't and not willing to, because
Right.
he's not willing to. He does not want to.
Exactly, because he doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Right.
Because
Listen, Ben
There's
is
high school
content.
kids that work with Nigel every day to work on their jump shot. Like what?
This is true.
I think it's the fact that Ben Simmons is not only is he content with his game, because we've seen this for the last 3 years, 4 years, however long Ben has been in the league. That first half of the season, he's gonna play his ass off so he can get labeled an all-star. But after that all-star game, he's not gonna care. And he's not only is he very content with his game, I think he's happy with the fact that he gets the status of being a celebrity. He gets to live that celebrity lifestyle.
Oh yeah,
He's cool with Rich Paul being his agent.
He's
He's
100%
smashing a
content.
Kardashian. He's dating. He's smashing a Jenner chick. He just bought a $17.5 million house in LA.
He's set.
He's
They gave
getting
him the
bottles of
bag too
tequila from
early.
LeBron.
He already got the max, right? He already got
You're right.
a
Yes,
big
they gave him a
contract.
max too
Yeah,
early.
he's content.
That was the
He's
problem.
chilling.
What else do I have to gain now?
Yeah. No, I agree.
I just think it's the lifestyle that he puts more over basketball.
Well, fast forward to we're talking about somebody not caring about basketball or whatever. We'll go to free agency now. Neil, remember earlier in the season when all these dudes who were getting drafted in Lonzo Ball's draft class were accepting these extensions and Lonzo didn't get one. And, you and I feel like we're the only people in the world that said Lonzo was probably the smartest person in his draft class because he's going to play his ass off and he's going to get a deal worth signing. I think we have to applaud Lonzo Ball for playing his ass off. He got an $85 million deal. A couple years ago when LA shipped him off, no one would have pictured this happening. But this is a pure example of people giving up on players way too early in their career.
Right.
They come into the league at 18, 19 years old, and they think that they're supposed to be superstars immediately. You got to wait for these guys to develop. And to me, Lonzo's a pure example of this. And him going to Chicago, I don't think there's a better move that could happen for him.
I love that move. And honestly, there wasn't a real reason for hating on Lonzo early on. It was just his jump shot was a little funky.
And
But
his
as you
father.
can see,
And his father.
He's been making shots in New Orleans, and that's only going to carry over. He's only going to be better in Chicago. So I'm excited for him.
I think it was Lawrence who just said it. His dad somebody just said it. His dad put that Nigma on his back at the age of 17.
Right.
That weighs a lot on a 17-year-old. Now, granted, he was good at UCLA, but like I said, we put these expectations on these young players coming into the league, like they're God, like they're going to turn into God their first year. You have to let these players develop. You have to let these players get accustomed to the speed of the game. And it takes time.
I respect him though for not signing a deal that he knew he wasn't worthy of. Like now he got 85 million. Like if he would have signed an extension with the Pelicans before the season started, there's no chance he was getting an $85 million deal. Like now he's going to Chicago, where I think is a better fit now with him and Lavine. Like because now Lavine can play off the ball. They brought in Demar DeRozan, who clearly is going to play off the ball. Like Lonzo is going to be the guy running the show there, and that's what he needed. Like, even in New Orleans this year, like he had Eric Bledsoe there. Like now Lonzo is the guy. He's the point guard. Like there's nobody there questioning Lonzo Ball being the starting point guard.
Right. Yep. Right. So Old Town said in the chat, he said Ben Simmons to the Pacers for Malcolm, TJ Warner, and 2 picks. And yeah, Rick, you're right. Lonzo's about to turn. He's about to turn up. He literally has 2 players that are perfect for his style.
Well, don't forget about Vucevic.
That too. I'm talking about as far as pushing the ball and everything like that.
Let me ask you a question. Do y'all do basketball hot takes as well?
Oh yeah, let me hear it.
The Chicago Bulls would be a top 3 seed in our division. In the East, there will be a top 3 seed.
I'm not mad at it. They got a great starting lineup.
Now
They
that
brought
you
in
can
pieces
get
that
Zach
fit.
Lavine, now that you got Zach Lavine off the ball, I think he's gonna play a lot better. Lonzo now has his role because we all thought coming into the league he was gonna be this elite point guard and he's gonna shoot the lights out, but that wasn't the case. Now Lonzo understands his role.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what DeMar DeRozan can do.
Yeah.
And Nick Vucevic, he's been balling since he stepped foot in the league with the Sixers.
I think the top 3 stays the same in the East next year, honestly.
Yeah, I do as well.
And Miami might move up too because they've made some serious moves this offseason.
It's true.
If
So-
you think Kyle Lowry Odell's going to do something, man,
Whoa. Put some respect on K. Lowry's name.
I'll put the
I can see
respect
the
on his
Chris Paul
name.
effect
Got
happening.
to.
But he ain't
You got
worth
to.
$30 million. He ain't worth $30 million a year.
He's a veteran with championship experience. You bring him on a Miami Heat team with Jimmy Butler. You re-sign Victor Oladipo 1-year extension. They
People ain't
cooking
coming
over
back
there.
after the
And
offseason.
as long as Tyler, let's hope that Tyler Hero was just a sophomore slump, because it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens, but Tyler
We
Hero
don't need him to
can
be
get
great.
back.
We just need him to come off the bench and give me 12 a night.
Hey man.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad for him.
But let me give you my hot take. Los Angeles Lakers won 66 games this year. Y'all can talk about them being old and a retirement home all you want. When does LeBron James play best? Who are his teammates?
Old motherfuckers.
Old heads. Hello, what's he got a team of this year? Old motherfuckers. The LA Lakers are coming out of the West. I don't see a way around it.
Y'all see it?
LeBron,
Y'all
Russ,
see
AD
how-
are your big 3.
You see the title of the podcast? People are saying AARP. That's what they were calling them old.
You could say it all you want, but LeBron James does not mesh well with young guys. It just is, he plays best with old people. It's just a fact. Russ, AD, Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore,
The
Wayne
Wash
Ellington.
King.
Yeah, listen, you're right. I'm not. The LA Lakers will be the 1 seed in the West, and we'll get to the finals.
We really brought our whole old team back. It's kind of crazy. Trevor
It really
Ariza,
is.
Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard, Kent Bazemore. Like I feel like this is 2011 and 12 all over again.
You just got
It's crazy.
Carmelo and Brown now.
Too bad there's no Lonzo.
I'm not gonna argue against it.
We got
because
Russ.
with LeBron, anything could happen. But it's hard for me to say yes because Frank Vogel is not a good coach.
I disagree with that. I think Frank Vogel is a good coach.
He's a
I
good
think he's
coach.
mediocre.
Yeah.
His rotations
he's
fucking
in-
suck.
Yes, that's what it is.
I agree with that, but I also think it's very, very, very hard to coach LeBron James.
I don't think it's hard.
Okay,
I personally don't think
I
it's
understand that, but there's 14 other players on the team too, so it's not just that he can't coach LeBron James, because of course the other 14 guys either.
hard. I personally don't believe it's hard to coach LeBron because fuck, LeBron's a god in the world of basketball. It's like I just think that Frank Vogel, like I can't give him credit for winning that championship. It's a Mickey Mouse league. You win a championship.
Stop it.
Stop that.
Stop it. Everyone had the same chances.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get
No
into
shot.
it.
Bro, because if the Sixers won that motherfucking championship, y'all motherfuckers would say, "Oh, we got the championship. Joel Embiid, best player in the fucking league. Ben Simmons." No Mickey Mouse championship. If anybody's favorite team won that championship, it's not a Mickey Mouse championship.
Well, and let me ask you
Yeah,
this.
you're right. You're right.
Let
But
me-
that's
let me ask
just
you
but
this.
that's just biasness.
But let me ask you
That's
this.
just biasness behind it.
So if that's a Mickey Mouse championship, how do you feel about this year's championship?
Oh, that championship was well earned.
How? It was the same thing. They
How
played
was
half
it
the
the same
season. They
thing?
played half the season with no fans, and then towards the end of the year, everybody's team got hurt or had COVID protocols. So what's the difference? What is
But
the
you
difference?
can't.
At least in the bubble, there were no COVID protocols, so everybody played. There were in this playoffs, you had Chris
There was
Paul
no
had to miss
COVID
games.
protocols.
Nobody missed games because of COVID. There were 0 cases of COVID in the bubble. 0.
You're right. Why? But when did COVID have to do with anything in the playoffs besides Chris Paul? What other team had to deal with COVID protocols in the playoffs?
So that's my point.
Besides
then.
Chris Paul.
So that's my point. If there was nothing, if COVID played no effect in the bubble, how is it a Mickey Mouse championship if everybody if it was the same thing. I don't understand that concept.
First of all,
what made it a Mickey Mouse championship?
Who did they? Let's just start off with who did they play? The Miami Heat, right?
So so then this year the Bucks, it doesn't count because you played the Phoenix Suns.
I'm not saying that. I'm just.
That's what you just said. You just said that.
Oh,
You just said who did they play?
I would agree. I'd have to agree with what Kenny's saying, just because it's like you can't ever take away from a championship because of who the other person plays.
I'm really confused. That'd be like saying,
I'm not taking away the championship from them.
Golden State's first championship because when they played Cleveland, Kyrie was out, Kevin Love was out, and everybody was out except for Matt Dellavedova and LeBron James.
If anything, the championship,
I'm not arguing
the bubble
that.
championship
I'm not
was harder.
arguing
If
that.
I would definitely say that Nigel just took the words right out of my mouth. I would say that the bubble championship was harder. You had to be locked in your fucking hotel room. You couldn't leave. If you went off the hotel, off the hotel grounds, your ass was locked up. Like you had
on a small ass campus.
You
with
heard
only so much to do.
The first
how many
time
of
ever
those
play
dudes
without
hours away from your family.
Hold on. See, you guys are going back to all of the negatives of what happened, right?
So what's
look
the
at all the positive.
Like what?
There was no traveling involved. Jamal Murray has never played like that out of his damn mind. Jamal Murray was giving you 50 points average a game in the playoffs.
But what's that got to do with that thing?
that
because the Nuggets didn't win. The Nuggets didn't win.
Hold on, but see, that's the thing though. There was no traveling to travel. When players don't have, my man, you're an NBA. You're a development coach, right? So you can oblige.
That made it a level playing ground.
It made it easier. It made it easier for.
It made it easier.
But nobody traveled.
Wait, but time out.
Right.
Nobody traveled.
See how you're bragging on
exactly.
Jamal Murray went nuts.
But he's just one of the small examples of the positive things that came out of it.
Jamal Murray got hurt this year because we had such a condensed season, so he didn't get to play in the playoffs. So guess what? Got to throw these playoffs out because you didn't have the Nuggets' second best player in the playoffs.
I think exactly
why is it different?
So exactly what Nigel was saying with a couple things here. One, the fact that there's no travel makes it a level playing field. Nobody traveled, right? So everybody and it's literally a bubble. So everything that happened was in a vacuum. Everybody had to do the same shit, right? I mean, sure, LeBron had a nicer room than somebody else or some shit like that, whatever. But that's at the end of the day when it comes down to it. At the end of the day when it comes down to it, it's like a fucking big ass AAU tournament. Everybody goes there and they hoop. And at the end, except no fans, right? That's the only difference. So I think that this Mickey Mouse League, all that shit, it all got blown way out of proportion because they looked at it as I think it was more of a hate on LeBron because LeBron won a championship because he played.
No, because listen,
I'm not saying I would never hate on LeBron.
No, I'm not saying that's what you say. No, I'm not saying
if
you.
LeBron loses it, you know what they say? Oh,
LeBron's a bum. He can't. Oh, look another. Yeah, exactly.
No travel. So, everything was set up for him to win, and he couldn't win. But now that he won, it was the easiest championship ever. That don't count.
I'm not saying that though. See, you guys are taking what I said out of context. What my biggest statement was that prior to this leading up was that I said Frank Vogel's not a good coach.
Well,
that was the first statement I made.
Well,
and I think you guys went about winning the championship. You guys went about winning the championship, right? And to me, it was a Mickey Mouse bubble.
I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that.
You gotta give Vogel some credit. You gotta give Vogel some credit.
I mean, you got to get your guys ready to go out there and play basketball in front of stuff that they've never had to fucking deal with before ever in their lives. Like you got fucking grown ass men that can't see their kids, that can't see their wives, that can't get pussy, they can't fucking play in front of fans. Like this, that's a whole nother level.
Hold on. Some players did get some ass because they got kicked out. My man Daniel House, whatever his name was, got kicked out the bubble.
And Jimmy Butler was smashing Rachel Nichols too.
Bro, stop with this shave room shit, bro.
He clapped.
We don't do that. We don't do that here, bro. Get that shit out of here.
I had an insider
IBTE
tell
network,
me he clapped.
man. You tripping.
But yeah,
oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
My opinion.
Frank
Vogel is not that good of a coach. Mickey Mouse championship.
I see.
I would say, you know what? I would say exactly what. So we're talking. If we're talking Mickey Mouse championship, right? Then you got to look at like kind of exactly what Kenny said. You got to look at this year, and you got to look at the fucking teams, how their trip to the finals, right? Look at each team. Like look at the Suns.
Every
and look at the
superstar
Bucks.
got hurt damn near.
Every single one.
LeBron wasn't 100%. AD was out. So, Suns won that round.
But
Let's
that was
take
league-wide.
Embiid played on his
That
torn
was
meniscus.
league-wide. It wasn't just players within the playoffs. It was league-wide that players were getting hurt. I understand. It's
But it all
different
happened in the playoffs.
circumstances.
So
I get
I'm
what
just
you're
saying,
saying.
if you're going to take away from the
Kawhi,
Lakers'
Trae
Mickey
Young,
Mouse
Embiid.
championship, then you have to take away from the Milwaukee Bucks
Right, because
COVID championship.
because
But
if
here's
you
my
look-
thing, though, right?
Be-
Hold on. I don't mean to hold on. Let me just say this, right? You can't have a player's injury that can't be blamed on the teams that made it to the finals. It's not their fault.
So you can't blame an international pandemic
On
the
the
team
championship.
because it's
Yeah,
not their
right.
fault
You
either.
can't. You can't blame it. You can't blame it. I mean,
But you
It's
just
not-
did by
it's not-
saying
it's
they
not-
lost finals.
but what makes
It's
it a
not-
Mickey
it's
Mouse
not-
finals then?
It's not blaming them, but the real fact is
They
whoever's
played-
the last team standing has to be the healthiest when it comes
Right.
to playoffs.
Right.
Right, and that's
And that happened to be the Milwaukee Bucks because very
Right.
easily Giannis could have been ruled out, and then it would have went a whole different way.
Right. Shout out
You know
to
what I'm
their
saying?
shout out to their staff for getting Giannis.
Their
ready to go.
training staff got Giannis back. They go win a chip
Bro,
because
like
it was looking real left.
if you look
You're
at, I mean,
absolutely right.
like you look at the Bucks road. I mean, literally, I'm not like no joke. I was at the fucking Nets game, man. Kevin Durant's pinky toe was on the fucking line. Like they are
Right.
literally 2 centimeters away from getting eliminated. That's
Right.
just how fucking crazy. And
Yeah,
that
that's
would
a
have,
hell of a game to catch too.
bro. That
That's
was
crazy.
shit was nuts, man. Like,
But you're right. Just that if he was 2 centimeters back,
it's game over.
Brooklyn moves
Brooklyn
on.
moves on, and you're looking at a whole other story of looking at a whole other thing. But just to get off this whole concept of Mickey Mouse and not Mickey Mouse and Vogel and all this shit, I think now does Giannis get all the praise in the world now? Is it a little bit too soon for that? Because I think it is.
let me take.
Well, what
it
kind of
might be
praise are
too
you
soon,
talking about?
But I
He's
gotta
the best player in the world.
Because
all of a
no, he's
sudden.
not the best player in the world. Stop it. LeBron
Mhm.
James is still alive. But second of all, I got to take back what I said about Giannis. I said he could never be the best player on a championship team. Clearly, that was wrong. But if you watched him play in the first 2 games of the Brooklyn series when he was healthy, it didn't look right. But
Yeah.
shout out to Milwaukee for finding a way
Boy went out
to
there
say,
and
okay,
got
this
Chris
does not
Chris
work.
Middleton.
Yeah, right. Really, more like
Bro, he
That
is
boy
a
stepped
shout out to
up.
Chris Middleton.
That boy stepped
no,
up,
like-
man.
he doesn't miss.
But still, like, if I still what I said, I still don't feel like I was an idiot for saying what I said. In today's NBA, it is tough to win when your best player play style is like Giannis. They found a way to overcome it, but I don't think that every team in the NBA can have a best player like Giannis and say, "Oh, we're going to win a championship."
Right,
Because not everybody in the NBA can have a player like a Chris Middleton on their team.
Right.
Because you say what you will about
Well-
Chris Middleton, but that man, not only does he play, like he gives 100%, 120% every single play, right? He's good. He's very good on defense, and he's efficient as fuck on offense, right? He doesn't make stupid plays. You get a secondhand guy like look at James Harden, for example, in the playoffs. Dude just made stupid plays, like constantly, stupid plays after stupid plays.
You
And
have to have teams. You have to have teams that are healthy, like I said, and then 2,
Yeah.
you have to have a big team. Like Milwaukee was big, so they were able to control the paint against
Right.
Phoenix.
especially
like-
in the playoffs where everything slows down.
And so,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Grab
Like
a
on the
perfect-
routes.
a
You
perfect
gotta be able
example
to
of what I'm
dominate
saying
the paint.
is like a team like Philly, like Joel Embiid is your best player. He's a post
You got to
guy.
be fucking kidding me, right?
Joel
gotta be kidding
Embiid
me,
is
bro.
he's the best player on Philly. Who's better than him?
No, I'm not disagreeing
Yeah,
with that. I'm
yeah.
just saying
No,
you
so-
gotta like throw it in my face that
Well,
like we lost.
Sorry, but no, but that's my point. Like,
You gotta
have-
throw it at. You just gotta.
You have
I'm not
Joel
even
Embiid,
over. I'm
but-
the
But
fandom
we're
is
like
still
you don't have
not
your
over
Chris
it. So you
Middleton
just
because your next best guy is what Ben Simmons, who also has no jump
no,
shot. So see,
no,
like that,
no. I'm sorry. Ben Simmons was not the second best player on this team all year.
no, but I mean, on paper, looking at it, the Philly looks at Ben Simmons as the second best player. That's just my point. Is you need to construct a team around your best player to be perfect, and Milwaukee found a way to do that, and not many other teams know how to do that if your best player's skill set is limited.
That's why I'm kind of worried about the Lakers this year. I'm kind of worried about the Lakers this year because I just don't think Russell Westbrook is the best player for LeBron. I don't think that's how. I just don't think so.
See, the part that he's missing, Nigel, is that LeBron James is a chameleon. So he's going to change his game to adapt to who's around him.
I disagree.
But
They're
how
gonna
can
Kenny. They're gonna see soon enough.
I don't even argue anymore. I just let them say what they have to
You
say.
can't.
This shit
We
is
know how
this
the-
shit is
we know
this
how
shit
this
is
story plays
over.
out, Kenny.
This shit is over with.
We know how this story plays out.
Shit is
You
over.
Bro,
just
I'm
gotta-
not the biggest.
If Russell Westbrook averaging 20% from the field next year, it's not over with. All right, you're gonna lose You're gonna lose.
You gotta understand, Russ is going back home, brother.
Yo, listen.
Okay.
He ain't played
number
home
5.
since UCLA.
Number 5.
Hello.
All right.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Okay.
Well,
Five,
I just got to put this out there. LeBron's one of the best players, probably the best player I've ever seen play the game of basketball. But him and Russ is like, what's two things that is like oil and water? It don't mesh.
It's not gonna fucking mesh.
It's not gonna work.
No.
Do you
How do we
see-
know?
All right.
I don't.
Dude,
Do
all right,
we
so-
know what's
Working
crazy? Do
together.
we know what's crazy?
How do we know that?
Everyone keeps
Bro,
saying this
look
about
at the
Russ.
players Russell
Dude.
Westbrook has played with.
Yeah,
And
wait.
he
Let's
hasn't
talk
gotten
about it. Do
anywhere.
you remember early
That's fine.
in his career?
None of them have
Do you
been
remember
LeBron.
early in his career when Russ, KD, and James Harden were in OKC? James Harden would come off the bench and be the ball handler, and Russ would play off the ball, and there was no problem.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook
we
was
all
also
forgot that.
22 years old and was
Guess
fresh
what?
in the
And-
league.
And now he's older.
And had
and
no
wants to win a
ego.
ring. So you're gonna be.
But
equal
here's
LeBron
the
James?
thing, though. How old is Russell Westbrook?
32.
32.
32, right? He's been in this league for how long? 12, 13 years?
Mm-hmm.
And my man can speak for it. When a player falls into bad habits, it's hard to get a player out of bad habits, regardless of what it is. Russell Westbrook has a lot of bad habits because he thinks every game has to evolve around him.
Chuck Westbrook. He chucks. He
J.R.
just
Smith had a
fucking
lot of bad
chucks.
habits too.
Westbrook-
He won a chip with Brown.
Westbrook, well, he was a
And
role
he's far
player,
J.R.
worse.
Smith.
but
You
J.R.
just
Smith
said
was
that,
a role
Kenny?
player, not a superstar
You just
player
said
on
that?
the team.
He was
He
the
was far
seventh guy
worse.
off the bench on that fucking
But hold
team.
on,
You're
though. But
saying
here's
No,
the
he
thing,
started
J.R.
for
Smith was a
Cleveland.
role player.
So let
J.R.
me
Smith was a role
let
player.
me
Started
ask,
for
let me say something. Let me say
Started for
something. Let me say
Cleveland.
something. So we sitting here. Me and Kenny, huge fans of OKC. We watched Russ from when he first started, 23, 24. But Braun, do you think Braun in year 20,000 is gonna sit here and let him shoot
What's he
him
gonna
out
say
the
to
gym?
him?
What are you
He's a
talking
grown-ass
about,
Man, you think Russell Westbrook gives a
Bro,
fuck about LeBron
you don't-
James?
bro?
He don't
You
give a
Yes.
fuck.
Oh my
No, he
goodness.
does not.
For some-
You don't ask to get
Fuck.
traded.
Listen,
to a
you're
team you don't have
tweaking,
to
bro.
really wanna
You're
be.
tweaking if you think
are
But-
crazy.
you're tweaking.
forgetting
You're tweaking
the
if
part
you
like he
think
wanted to
Braun
go
is
there.
gonna sit there and watch him Russ shoot
Like,
him out
here's
the
the
gym.
thing.
He's
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
let that
exactly.
happen,
Yeah,
The
because
dudes-
we're not worried about Russell Westbrook messing with LeBron James if we're having this conversation right now,
bro.
right?
Listen,
Kevin Durant did
not.
it.
that's what I'm saying.
Kevin
It's gonna
Durant
be.
did
It's
it.
gonna be just fine.
Okay.
It's just gonna.
Kevin
Bro,
Durant did
listen.
it.
You guys are saying this now, right? They're old. That it's not
It's
gonna
really
mess.
gonna be.
And then
it's gonna be a show.
Right.
listen, when it
Everybody's
gets
gonna be
it gets
show.
back to
Remember this, though,
it's gonna get back to next year, and they're gonna say LeBron James cheated. That's what the
Exactly.
narrative's
That's what
gonna
I'm
be.
saying. Just
He
everybody
cheated.
remember this because
That's what
when
is
it
gonna
comes
happen.
down to later in the year and the Lakers are dominating, I don't want to hear people say, "Well, they should be doing this." They have Russ, AD.
That's what's gonna happen.
Because that's what's gonna
And,
happen.
and what happened in the
Today-
bubble? What
today
happened in
they
the
all
bubble?
suck.
Same
They can't
thing.
play together. They're
Same
all
thing
old.
happened in the bubble.
Because in the bubble they were old as shit too. And
Same
everyone,
thing.
Oh, JaVale McGee sucks. Dwight Howard sucks. AD's injury prone. LeBron's old. Rajon Rondo's past his prime. But then when he won, well, he had Rajon Rondo.
And they-
he had Dwight Howard.
And all of them
JaVale
left,
McGee.
and they all left and got max deals after that.
Right. So I just if you're gonna say they suck, that's fine. Just keep that same narrative when they're doing good, because I don't
Exactly.
want to hear that's what they're supposed to do. They're all NBA.
You know it's gonna be
They're all
scary?
all-time greats.
What's your defensive game plan when you play the Lakers this year?
That's
How do you prepare for that?
Well,
That's
what? Hold on.
because
So
to me,
hold on, Kenny.
that's
Hold
the
on. Hold
perk
on.
of having a ref
Nigel,
and a
what?
lot.
What is okay? So what is what's the threat? I mean, obviously there's threats all over the field, all over the court. But what is your game plan on offense?
For the Lakers,
Yeah.
push the ball. We need to match all these young teams.
Push the
That's
ball.
why you're bringing it. That's why you're bringing in a guy who goes 100 miles an hour every
Yeah.
possession like Russell Westbrook.
Just because Russ is old does not mean he cannot run.
Right.
Russ is
No,
still
that
one of
doesn't
the
mean
fastest
that
in
at
the
all.
league.
Than some 19-year-olds.
Russ is
That
still
doesn't
one of the
mean that at
fastest in the
all.
league.
Let me ask you this question though. What's gonna happen if Anthony Davis pulls a hamstring again?
Well, now they have depth.
Dwight Howard.
For bigs? For bigs?
They brought in Dwight
Can
Howard.
none of them give you the same productive anything that Anthony Davis is gonna give you?
That's
They
true. They're
cannot
not.
give you the same
Of course,
production.
of course. You can't
true.
replace
I'm not gonna lie.
AD with AD.
Okay. So let me play.
Because
what
if we're gonna
happens
be
in,
if we're gonna
what
be
happens
honest,
in Milwaukee
Anthony
if
Davis
Giannis goes
is
down
injury
there?
prone.
No, all right. So this is
Right.
They're
what
screwed. They're screwed.
I'm talking strictly. Let's say that the Lakers are healthy 100% all year long, right? Let's just say there's no injuries. If you look at a third option, because Russell Westbrook's the third option on that team, no matter which way you try to fucking spin that shit at all.
Yeah.
When you look at the third option,
He's the best third option in the league.
no. If you're looking at third options, for me on a team, what I want out of third options, I want a guy that can cut, I want a guy that can shoot threes, and I want a guy that can play defense very well. Okay, Russell. I mean, defense is never. I mean, sure he could play defense, but has it ever been? Oh my God, Russell Westbrook's the best defender in the league. No, Russell Westbrook barely cuts.
You can say that with most of the league.
Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Russell
Nobody
Westbrook
plays defense.
Does not cut to the basket. I think he cuts the basket 30%. 30% of possessions he cuts to the basket. That's terrible for a third option. And
He's
he
the one
shoots.
creating plays for
And he
others.
shoots 29.
Now you got-
He shoots 29% from three.
But if you
LeBron,
if
hold on.
Understand, LeBron doesn't have
if
to
you're third-
spoon feed anyone to score this year. Melo
Right.
can get his own
Because-
bucket. Russ can get his own bucket. AD
What-
can get his
what if
own
you're-
bucket.
what other third option can average a triple double in their sleep?
Okay,
He's never averaged a triple double in his sleep
Oh,
while
my
being the
goodness.
third option.
Yo,
Never.
listen. My
Never.
thing is,
But the
my
point
thing
is,
is,
but he could average
Oh,
a
my
triple
goodness.
double in his sleep. Is my point.
hold the fuck on. No, going back to what you said, because like this is what blows my mind, like that he's going to stay the same player going on this team. Like,
Bro, you can't change the fact that he shoots 29%
Oh,
from
my
three.
goodness.
These are
Are you gonna let-
stats.
I didn't interrupt you.
but
I
he's
didn't
not-
interrupt you.
Stats
He's
from his
not-
career.
I
He's
didn't
not just going
interrupt
to
you.
change everything.
I didn't
He's not
interrupt
gonna
you.
Be asked to be the number one
Hold
option.
on, Kenny. Hold on. The whole time, his whole career, OKC, the Rockets, he had to go and get a bucket. The Wizards, he had to go and get a bucket. Who else is getting buckets? Nobody. Now you paired with AD, Melo, and LeBron, the best player of our generation. Are you serious?
All time.
Listen.
You don't think he's gonna be like, oh shit? I'm not the number one option.
Bro, people don't fucking change, man. I don't
Oh
care what
my
you say. People
goodness.
do not fucking change.
You're crazy.
And these are statistics
Crazy.
from Russell Westbrook's off-ball play. He cuts to the basket 30% of possessions. That's
Right.
We
fucking
don't need
terrible.
him to change. We need Russ to be exactly who Russ is
Because
going to be.
you're
Maybe
missing the part
maybe shoot a little higher percentage, yeah.
And Nigel, they're missing.
But
the
we need him
point
to
that-
be
So
exactly who
you
he's going to
need
be.
Russ
That's why
to
we
be.
brought him
So
in.
you need Russ to be a selfish player is what you need. Because Russ is selfish.
He don't
think
got to
he's
be
not
selfish on this team.
They're missing the point.
But
like,
you just said you need Russ
the-
to be Russ, and Russ
the
is selfish.
best
right or
player
wrong?
in the world, LeBron James, has adapted almost every year of his career. Like, so I don't understand. Like, they're thinking that LeBron and Russ are going to
Give
butt
me,
heads.
give
But
me
LeBron-
one. Give me one team LeBron has played for where he really wasn't the primary ball handler.
You said who?
Give me one team that LeBron has played for where he was
One-
not the primary ball handler.
When he played
When he
When
played
he
with the
played
Heat.
with the Cavs, and
when
the
he played
Heat
with-
and with the Cavs because Kyrie was.
Kyrie, and then
He
when
damn near average 8 assists.
With
a
D
game.
Wade over there.
Okay, right. So,
But
he
my
averaged
thing
86
is-
games not as a primary ball. Like, just
Son.
because he averaged a lot of assists does not equal you were the primary ball handler. Like, Jokic averaged
he
a
gave
shit ton of
you-
assists. He was not the primary ball handler.
yeah, that's
But the offense is ran
That-
through Jokic, right or wrong?
But those are two different things. The offensive run
yeah.
being the
Primary ball handler. You're looking at a
Two
point
different things.
guard. That's your.
Those
primary
are two
ball
different
handler,
things.
point guard.
I'm not knocking LeBron. You're right. LeBron can adapt to any situation, any player in the league, right? I'm just saying, though, Russ has really bad habits. And these habits have never changed despite what great player he played with.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
just played
Y'all
with Bradley
think he's
Beal.
gonna be
His,
like,
those
his
habits
decision
will not
making,
go away.
LeBron,
his,
I'm gonna
his
stop
decision
fucking
making
around.
in the clutch does get questionable
Hold
sometimes.
on.
But
Right, but in the
Hold on.
clutch, you think
Hold on.
Bron's letting him handle the ball?
Can I finish? Russell Westbrook, his last team was with the Wizards. Those bad habits did not change. The year before that, he was with the Houston Rockets.
He's
Those
banged
had
up
bad
all
habits.
year.
Team with no
He
shot.
was, but when he
Team with no
when
shot.
he played,
Team with no shot.
Can you let me finish?
What do you mean team with no shot? What does that mean?
I just let y'all all speak. I just stood over here quiet for like a good 5 minutes and listened to everything. You're right. He was hurt for a majority of the year. Those bad habits still did not change. He played with KD. Habits did not change. He took 10 shots before KD could get off 6. Bad habits. After KD left, he was the only player on that team. Yes, but those bad habits were still there. This is a guy that's been in the league for 12, 13 years, has never changed out of these bad habits.
The Thunder were only relevant because of Russell Westbrook, though. So you said that he left and the bad habits never left. So but if he doesn't do those,
but if you still look at it though, after he left Oklahoma, but remember he had got Carmelo and Paul George.
So wait.
And
So
what happened?
I just gotta ask because Carmelo, this was only what, like 3-4 years ago.
They're not champions either.
Today Carmelo Anthony is not good at basketball and he's old. We're saying because he's on the Lakers, but now we're saying when Russ had Carmelo Anthony. But now when Russ got Carmelo Anthony, he should have won with him. That's
nobody said a word about
no.
I'm saying generally speaking.
No, yeah, you're generally speaking, right? To me, Carmelo is a walking bucket. No matter where he goes, he is a walking bucket. Okay. But Russell Westbrook never changed or never did anything to get Carmelo and Paul George involved into an offense for them to win. Never did it. Now, the reason why I'm a big Paul George fan, right? Paul George just really led the LA Clippers to 6 games against the Phoenix Suns without Kawhi Leonard. So you see what happens when you get Paul George incorporated into an offense, and when you actually let him play.
That's not fair to say.
So one
but how is that
series
not fair
Paul,
to say?
because
we're talking
Paul
about
George has to
how
be
many
the
years
go-to
apart
guy.
how many years apart has this been?
And wait,
how many years?
Not even just that, Nigel. We're talking one series where Paul George had to be the guy because Kawhi went down. Like there was no other. It's not like they had another choice.
Right.
Well, right or wrong, didn't a lot of people write off the LA Clippers once Kawhi went down against the Mavericks?
Yeah, weren't they right? Did the Clippers go to the
They
finals?
didn't know. No. I heard a lot of people saying they wouldn't make it past the they wouldn't make it past the Mavericks once Kawhi went down, because Luka was playing out of his mind. A lot of people did not think the Clippers
bounced the first round.
A lot of people did not think the Clippers were going to make it past the Mavericks once Kawhi went down.
Because
he went down versus the Mavs? I thought he went down versus the Suns.
No, it was the Suns.
No, it was.
He
didn't. He never played a game against the Suns.
Wait. Oh no, it might have been late against the Mavs.
I think it was Game 6 against the Mavs. Game 6 against the Mavs. I think he went down.
So all right. So what? I don't know about any of this other conversation. All I'm trying to say is this.
Yeah, it was Game 6 because it was tied 2-2, and then they came back, beat the Mavs twice. And then
when it comes to a third option on this team in particular, where you got not the best 3-point shooting, right? You can't, Nigel. You have to admit, you guys don't have the best 3-point shooting on the team right now. Yes or no?
Say that again. We don't have the best 3-point shooting.
You don't have the best 3-point shooting on your in the league right now, right? Like you're not even top 15.
Nah, we didn't last year.
No, I think they can argue. I think the Lakers can argue that.
Yeah, so you got Carmelo, Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore. Like they're not great.
They just
but
signed Kendrick
bad.
Nunn. They just
signed
Kendrick Nunn as well.
We weren't one of the best shooting teams last year.
Right, but what happened last year?
Well, last year AD was out.
Injuries, yeah. I mean,
last year
we got to understand. We're talking about a future Hall of Famer in Russ who's averaged a triple-double for 4 straight seasons.
And now, who's to say LeBron doesn't take the step back and say, I'll be the third offensive option?
No shot.
LeBron has never done that.
Never.
Talking about
he hasn't had to yet. LeBron was going to step back this year.
Did Michael take a step? Did Michael Jordan ever take a step back to become the third option?
They're not, but they're not the same player. They're not the same player. And they didn't have
exactly.
I'm just asking a simple question.
Okay, they're not the same player.
Michael was there.
Right or wrong? I'm just asking a question.
The only thing I see Russ and Braun fighting about this year is rebounds, because they both want to pat their stats. But other than that, it's going to work just fine.
Right? No, because
and you factor in AD getting rebounds too. You said half the season when he on the floor.
Wait, not Dante. You said did Michael Jordan ever step back to be the second scorer?
No.
But that was his game. If Mike wasn't a scorer, then Mike wasn't Mike.
Yeah.
Like Bron is not a scorer. Like he's a facilitator that scores. Like that. That's the difference.
So is Russ.
All I did was ask a simple question though.
No, right. Answered your question.
I tried to get you to repeat it.
Take the step back because Mike wasn't like that wasn't Mike's game. If Mike wasn't a scorer, then Mike wasn't Mike. Like LeBron doesn't have to be a scorer to be LeBron.
And I would
that's
actually
the thing about Russ. Russ doesn't have to be a scorer to impact the game.
I actually would say that
the best team athlete ever.
I would actually say LeBron James did take a step back in Cleveland when Kyrie Irving.
That's my point.
When Kyrie's
he knows how to do it.
When it was Kyrie's time to cook, LeBron knew it and he let him do it. And he let it do it. Dwayne Wade, when he had his time too, and when Chris Bosh wanted to go, LeBron said, "Okay, take over for a minute." He's all right with doing that. But
the way he explained it was that is LeBron willing to do it for an entire. That's the way I interpreted it. Is LeBron willing to do it for an entire year?
Yeah, so I 100% think LeBron is willing to do it for an entire year.
Oh yeah, he'll coast to the playoffs, and then when playoffs come, I think
the thing is, LeBron is at a point in his career where why do I need stats? I just want rings. Okay, I can average 30 points a game and not get a ring, and who cares? Or I can average 22 points a game and get a ring.
Let me ask y'all this. Mainly Neil and I forget your name, bro.
Dante.
Dante. What do y'all think is the reason we brought Russ to LA? Like, what do y'all think his role is going to be? Obviously, we're not looking for him to be a shooter, but what do y'all think his role is going to be as our third option?
Honestly, I really don't know the role Russ will play. I mean, you could say a facilitator.
Well, I know what role he's going to play.
Because let me tell you this.
Hold on, Kenny. Did he ask you, Kenny? No.
Go ahead, Neil. Let me hear your nonsense.
He didn't like it wasn't directly for y'all. He just said y'all can answer.
No, he didn't. Right. He said Neil and Dante.
He said main. He said
let me hear your nonsense, Neil.
Did he say ugly Lawrence? No, he said Neil and Dante.
But at the end of the day, bro, like we don't know anything until the season starts. Like
they haven't played one game together.
They haven't played one game. So like if we get to the season and he's doing all this bullshit that he's been doing the whole time, then I'm gonna have to eat my words. Like
I don't want anybody. But here's the thing: like, I don't want anybody to eat anybody's words. None of that shit. All I'm saying,
we're just making predictions.
I've been coming at this from strictly a historic, statistical background look at it.
Right.
If you look at Russell Westbrook's stats as being a third option in the NBA, they're not even close to what you want out of a third option. Okay,
but
except he's never been a third option.
Exactly, yeah. Russ was never a third option.
He's never been a third option ever in his whole career.
Right.
Never.
No, when was he a third option?
He never took a step back when he was.
When was he a third option?
No.
Harden and KD got on the fucking court with him. He didn't.
He was not a third option. He was the second option. He couldn't
play a third option role.
He was the second option. He was the second option. And if we're gonna count, if we're gonna count that as Russ being a third option, then he was a damn good third option. So yeah,
he was definitely the second option.
Yeah, he was definitely the second option. I don't know.
But if you want to say he was a third option, then that helps my argument.
Did you watch the Thunder at that point?
All right, I'm done with y'all. But listen, so what
wow.
His role on the Lakers will be a point guard because the motherfucking Lakers haven't had a point guard since Lonzo Ball. And even when they had him, it wasn't a fucking point guard. They need a legit point guard. LeBron thrives best when he has a legitimate point guard on the team.
So then what the fuck are we arguing about?
He is
because to me it sounds like you because it sounds like you just told me LeBron needed a legit point guard and the Lakers brought in a legit point guard. That's what I heard, right?
His role is going to be a legit point guard. Yes, his role is going to be to try and play a legit point guard. Russell Westbrook is not that.
He's not that guy.
Only averaging a triple double. He's right.
He's not that guy, Paul. He's not that guy.
He don't have to be the point guard. We can move Russ right to the 2 and have Bron bring the ball for all we.
That was exactly what I was about to say.
Russ' job is going to be exactly what you said a while ago, to facilitate and get other guys shots. Somebody else has to do it, so LeBron don't have to spoon feed everybody every play down the floor. But now we have guys like Melo and AD who can get their own shot.
A lot of people had the conception that the Lakers didn't have a point guard the previous 2 seasons. I beg to differ a little bit because LeBron can be a point guard. Right. You just didn't have somebody to share the backcourt with him that can go get a bucket like he had with Kyrie and D-Wade.
100.
Which he has.
Here's my thing though, is that like, can Russ really fall out to be, with his ego and the way he is and his bad habits, can he be that third option for LeBron and for AD? I personally can't see it.
Right.
I don't think he'll do it.
People keep saying this thing about Russ's ego. I don't. Maybe I have on thunder-colored glasses.
You definitely.
I don't think Russ has an ego.
You're definitely.
What am I missing? What am I missing? Nigel, I mean, this is
All
something.
right, wait, Dante, are you saying ego on like the flair of his play?
No. Because his game is based off of aggression. His game is based off the fact that, honestly, he's probably the most aggressive player in the league besides LeBron.
He can be competitive. It's being competitive.
But he has that competitive nature.
Right.
But when I talk about ego, is that like Russell
He
Westbrook,
means his style of play on the court.
No.
It goes back to that selfish factor.
But
not only is it the selfishness, is that Russell Westbrook tends to think, and it shows in his style of play, he's the best player in the world, and he did that a lot when Kevin Durant was on his team.
Let me play devil's advocate here, though, because when Bron went to go play with Dwayne Wade, he was the dominant ball handler. He was in the prime of his career. He had no jump shot. He was a very aggressive player, and he thought he was the best player in the world too.
Are you talking about
LeBron? But he knew that was
D
Wade's. He knew that was D Wade's team.
I'm saying I feel like like at that point,
they got
D-Wade
a county named
Russ's
after
games. At that point, D Wade's game and Russ' game were that fairly similar?
Not necessarily. I don't think they're fairly similar.
But how could you say that? They both don't really have a jump shot? D Wade was the go-to guy in Miami. It was his.
But Dwayne Wade had the better jump shot.
But you're gonna
The difference is D Wade.
Hold on. Dwayne Wade was a proven winner. Russell Westbrook is not.
Okay, but at the same time, now you know what the difference is. Russ is coming into LeBron's house, whereas LeBron was going into Wade's house. So now Russ knows, okay, this is LeBron's team.
But LeBron does he know that though? But see, that's the thing though. Does he know that?
Everyone what has Russ ever like? What has he done to not make us feel like he can do that?
I mean, he went to
everything
to
he showed me when he played with Kevin
Houston.
Durant.
He did go.
He went to Houston, took the back seat to Harden,
and they worked out fine. Some nights was Harden night to take the game winner. Some was Russ. I mean, he can definitely coexist with another superstar if that's our argument.
Even in Washington, he took the back seat to Brad Beal. Like I don't.
Bradley
he
Beal
only
said
turned
he
up
was the best teammate he ever had. I mean, he played how many seasons with John Wall? He was a point guard.
I mean, but
that's why I'm so
let's go
confused
hand in
about
hand.
this
John
whole Russ as an ego thing. But no, we're talking teammate. That's a character thing. Like that's got nothing to like your best teammate.
No. I'm saying though, like player wise, like we all know Russell Westbrook has always been better than John Wall.
Right, but that's not what Brad Beal said. He didn't say it was the best player. He said it was the best teammate he ever had. Like that's a character thing.
Right.
Like your 13th man on the bench could be a best teammate. Like
no, I think he brought up the teammate part because of you said the ego.
That's right. That's the point. I
don't know.
And to me, I've never heard players that he's played with talk about his ego.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
That's a media narrative that people want to believe because of his personality.
But understand this: we're not in the locker room with them,
right? So we can't say that he has an ego
as a person. I'm just going based off of what I see on the court.
And on the court, I don't see anyone get mad at him. That's
Nigel.
I do agree. His decision making does get questionable at times. I've seen it time again with Russ, 100%. But I've also seen him clutch a lot of fucking games.
Nigel, what's your prediction for the Lakers?
He said
my prediction.
Yeah.
Finals. Finals.
You said the finals, nothing less.
Not the Western Conference Finals. The finals.
What about they win in the championship or nah?
Depends who meet us there.
Nah. You got to say with your chest, finals or championship.
It depends who we meet there. If we meet anybody other than Brooklyn, most likely we're gonna win a championship. If we play Brooklyn, that's a toss up to me.
That's an easy
I go either way. Then health comes into factor and a whole bunch of other stuff, coaching rotations, everything. But I know we get into the finals for sure.
I know they beat in Brooklyn for sure too. I know Russ about to rub it in KD's face too.
I'd love to see it.
NBA ratings.
But I gotta see it.
NBA ratings about to go crazy
through the roof.
Is Marc Gasol staying on that team?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
They don't have to do nothing special.
That boy can't play.
I don't think Marc Gasol is getting off the bench.
He can't
be there for injuries. That's all we need. That's all we need. Because we know AD is inevitably going to get hurt.
And you got to factor in, we're going to start load managing these guys right after All-Star break too.
All right, so what's
Marc Gasol gonna get his reps?
So what's y'all closing thoughts on the NBA season and things like that?
I might cop 2K this year.
Definitely not gonna cop 2K this year. Games ass every year.
Yeah, probably not.
And the Brooklyn Nets are going.
We in the park.
Brooklyn Nets are going to win the NBA championship this year.
Okay.
I just think that we got robbed last year by fucking Kevin Durant's size 27 foot. This year is the year. We get that shit.
What about
on paper? The Nets do look like the favorite team to come out the East.
Yeah, I mean we're not just coming out the East. We coming out the league. We gonna win the whole shit.
I like that little sneaky sign of Patty Mills. That was sneaky.
That was sneaky good because we lost Spencer Dinwiddie, but
I think
Patty
that
Mills
was the best signing of all the free agency.
Low key, it was a great signing.
Great signing.
And they still got Joe Harris too, right?
Yep, Joe Harris still there. He under contract.
He's a starter though.
Don't matter.
Predictions.
Joe
we
Harris
finally gonna get Lakers Nets in the finals, but
Joe Harris is not
wins.
allowed in Brooklyn for a couple weeks. All right, his ass should be go to Wisconsin, wherever the fuck you from, and chill for a minute.
Wait, why is that?
Played at Virginia, bro.
All right, Virginia, wherever, Wisconsin, same thing. Bro, why? Because I could have hit the open shots that he had on the court.
Right.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is if the Sixers get Dame, y'all need to look out.
You said if who?
If my Sixers get Dame, look out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man, look, the Eagles getting Deshaun Watson, Sixers getting Dame. Come on, son. I thought you said you weren't delusional.
Y'all got to move Ben Simmons first. They got to find some sucker to take Ben Simmons.
Bro, all I'm asking is, bro, please don't say that name around me.
Nobody's taking his ass. Nobody's taking that man.
And if nobody takes him, then y'all stuck with him.
Y'all stuck with Ben Simmons.
Right.
Oh,
no, I mean, listen, supposedly the Warriors want him. So
yeah, but do you know what the Sixers are asking for him? Two firsts and two starters.
But now we don't. Now we don't because they just re-engaged trade talk. So it's like, listen, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
He said, "Don't say that name." That name banned in Philly.
Don't say that name. Don't say that name.
You see, he's starting to reply in comments and everything now too on Instagram
because he's soft.
He had enough.
He's soft. He's turning into Kevin Durant, a soft ass baby.
How you 6'10" and can't score a basketball?
I don't know.
He caught the ball under the rim and tried to
wide
hand
open
it off when he had Trae Young on his back.
Listen, why y'all putting me through this misery again?
And of all
I
the
didn't
people,
watch it.
He passed it to Matthijs Thibel, who's not even a scoring threat.
He missed more free throws on his own in the offseason than like 3 whole basketball
teams.
Oh my goodness!
In 2017, he said he was going to fix his jump shot. In his 2021,
he's made 1 3-pointer since then. Though? Missing more free throws than 3 teams.
That is OD.
You know what?
3 organizations.
Let me
1 single player.
Can I just get this?
Yeah. We'll close. You got the closing words.
Fuck Ben Simmons.
All right.
Fuck the Atlanta Falcons. Fuck the LA Rams. Fuck the Saints. Fuck Russell Westbrook. Fuck them all. Okay. Fuck them all.
All right, man. Listen.
Wait, I didn't get to give my shout out.
Yeah, everybody get your closing statements in. Go ahead, Kenny.
I didn't get to give my shout out to the New York Yankees for bringing in Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo. Anthony Rizzo's balling.
The pitching still sucks.
That's right, but guess what? We're now 1.5 games out of the second wild card spot, so we did something right at the deadline. Shout out to the Yankees for that.
Y'all have to score like 13 runs a game.
Guess what? We had the fucking offense to do it, so I'm not worried about it. Second of all, shout out to Bayham's Army for winning the TBT, Syracuse alum. We in the building. My boy Kiefer Sykes hit the last second shot and end up getting an NBA contract minutes after. That's what it's all about.
Literally minutes.
You know what? Can I ask you this real quick, bro? You went to Syracuse, right? I'm assuming since you just put.
Yep.
What happened with Scoop Jardine?
Scoop Jardine.
Scoop Jardine, he was shaving points. That's it. We'll talk offline about that one.
Because I'm a Newman Goretti alum and I was on the ball team, and you mean to tell me that's the performance you're gonna put out there?
Well, we'll talk offline, but there's stories that Scoop was shaving points.
All right, Neil? What you got? What you got for closing statements for the people? What you got, man?
Couple things I want to speak on before we dip out of here. You already know I got to talk about my man. Didn't talk about him at all. Shohei Ohtani, still number 1 in the league in home runs, and he had 7 strikeouts last night and got the W against the Rangers. He's got a sub 3 ERA right now. It's just really crazy. It really is crazy. And the fact that he does all this shit and Mike Trout is not even playing So what's gonna happen when Mike Trout comes back? That's just scary. Another thing I want to talk about, which we didn't really get to touch on this podcast, but it's probably a good thing because I probably would have went a little crazy. Anybody that has something to say about Simone Biles' choice to not participate in the Olympics can come suck my whole dick. All right. Y'all don't know what it's like to go through mental angst. Y'all don't know what it's like to have anxiety.
We're not getting monetized.
All right. So don't I don't want anybody out there that thinks they're a performer and thinks that they go out there and do their thing or whatever. And I don't feel that pressure. I don't feel that shit. Yeah, man. What do you do? Like this woman goes out every 4 years and has to perform for a gold medal for a whole country. You got her comparing fucking Tom.
Wait, not to cut you off. It's not even every 4 years. She does it every year, but we only acknowledge her every 4 years. Like,
right, exactly.
Which is even worse. Like even more impressive.
It's even worse, man. So that whole situation just kind of set me off a little bit because it's like you got motherfuckers sitting on their couch eating potato chips talking about how she not out there, how she's sitting out. How's she doing this to our country? She's supposed to be a performer. She's supposed to be an athlete. Take care of your mental first. It's always about your mental first.
So what you said is absolutely correct, and I'm not here to disagree with that. I think Simone Biles, what she did was very brave of her to do it, because you really don't. And the fact that I just think that she could have avoided all of this backlash is if she didn't do it during the middle of a tournament of Olympic.
She got hurt.
No. I'm not disagreeing with it. I just felt like if it was mentally there,
it was.
You should have just said something because
I would say she got hurt.
This
right?
doesn't happen overnight, though. This doesn't happen overnight.
It does happen overnight, though.
No, because here's the part people are missing too, Neil, is Simone Biles was the only gymnast that qualified that was also assaulted by Nasser. Okay. So, and to me, she wanted to show we're bigger than this. I'm not going to let you win. One of us is still going to go out there and compete. You don't know what that's going to do to your mental until you get out there. Like, I've never been assaulted like that. You've never been assaulted like that. Like, on a world stage, like, you don't know what kind of mindset that puts you at that point.
That's a good point. I didn't know that. I actually did not know that. I thought there was another gymnast on the team. I didn't know that. No,
she's the only one.
The narrative that Simone Biles should have dropped out of the Olympics before the Olympics because of her mental health or whatever, I just disagree with completely because she was fine going into the Olympics. When she fucked up her move and hurt herself is when she got fucked up. And any athlete, anybody in the world can think, I mean, you get into a car accident, you're scared to get into a car after. This woman's got to go out there and do quadruple fucking backflips on non-padded ground, and she's supposed to have a full mental capacity to do that shit after she just got hurt on a balance beam.
And I would like to add too that gymnastics is more mental than physical.
Bro, it's crazy. If you don't have the confidence to go out there and land your shit, you're not gonna land it, and it's fucking crazy, man.
And can we mention how, like, a month ago when Sha'Carri Richardson got suspended for smoking weed, and we found out she smoked weed because she was coping with the death of her parents, everyone was saying like, "Oh, we got to really care about
that was
these
complete
athletes."
bullshit.
No, right, but I'm saying
that was complete bullshit.
But the narrative was let's care about these athletes' mental health, and their
right.
mental health should be
and then all of a
first
sudden,
and foremost.
It changes
and now
real
when
quick.
Simone says, "You know what? For my mental health, I cannot compete," it's also "Oh, you're weak. You're terrible. You shouldn't even come here."
I didn't want to bring up a whole fight about this whole thing because that's a whole topic we have. That was just a closing argument that I wanted to have. Also, just one more to say about Sha'Carri Richardson. She wouldn't have even placed top 5 with her score. And then she raced in, so we were all talking about, oh, she would have done her thing. She would have done crazy. She wouldn't have even placed the medal. So,
no, I get what you're saying, bro. But like Sha'Carri Richardson, it was
she's super young too. So
I don't think that's fair.
Stay off the weed.
For her to get kicked off, the Olympic team
I'm not
she smoked and she tested positive.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
I disagree with that shit.
Listen.
I go to fucking work and my ass tests positive for weed, I get fired.
The rules are the rules.
The rules are the fucking rules.
That's what
she knows what she has to do.
We could think the rule might have been dumb, but she did break the rules, so that's how it works out. But my point is
they do need to update their banned substance list, though.
Yes, right. Exactly. I'll give you that.
100%.
But my point was just a month ago, I'm hearing everyone say mental health is important. We need to care about mental health. And then when Simone says I can't compete because of my mental health, we're calling her weak and calling her not a competitor.
She's not a performer. She's not an athlete. She's fake.
We can't have it both ways.
Right. All right, Nigel, what's your closing statements here?
What you got to say, Nigel?
Neil's always got controversy. he been holding on to that because
he choose violence.
Yeah, he missed the pod the last 2 weeks and shit. So
Ill is mad violent, inviting people to his dick. But my closing statements. Shout out to Hooper's Rehab. You know, we got a lot of fun events coming up. Expect to see y'all there this weekend if y'all ain't got nothing going on, man. We need the crowd. We need the shit talking. We need energy. It's going to be a great event. Yeah, I'm doing a camp next weekend as well. High school kids, middle school kids, 2-day camp. But
how's that knee?
Frank Policelli. That's gonna be awesome.
Shout out to Frankie.
Your knee's good, Nigel?
Doing well. The knee is doing very well. Rehab is right on track. I just hit 4 months out. Yeah, it's going smooth.
Good.
Just taking it day by day, bro.
Shout out to Hooper's Rehab.
Sure.
In my last words, I want to say thank you to Dante for joining us. First off, definitely a pleasure, man. You definitely got the energy, man. Because I didn't know how it was gonna go. Because Neil was an absolute maniac. But hey, listen, shit, you shined today.
So I do appreciate y'all for letting me on.
Yes, sir.
This is something that I've always been interested in. I just never really put myself out there to the exposure to actually do it after I will admit I'm a college dropout, but whatever. So
disclaimer, you don't need college.
Nah. I mean,
a lot of people ain't even go to college, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, after, my whole thing with school and everything like that, I never really actually found myself the proper equipment, but, that's just a different story for a different day, whatever, blah, blah. But I'm very grateful and appreciative you guys let me on. And, I hope you guys bring me back and we, can finish it.
Most definitely. I want to thank everybody that tuned in, man. 215 Old Town. Your boy Phil was in here. Clyde was in here. Otto. We had Showtime Nick. Showboat. Oh man, who else?
We had Rick.
Rick was always in here. He's probably still watching right now. Blurp was in here. Oh man, Dav Smith was in here. Shout out to him. He was in here early on.
Shout out to Dav.
Yeah, shout out to Tony Black too for joining the live, man. We appreciate you. We're gonna keep improving.
Shout out to Myron too. Myron was in here too.
Oh yeah,
Myron was here.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there he is. Okay, I see him. Shout out to him for tuning in.
Just an idea I had, Lawrence, not to interrupt you, but just an idea that I had for the NFL season. I'm thinking, obviously there's not enough time in the season, but we're definitely going to try to get, special guests on every now and then. Try to pick from diverse teams too, because we all have our own team. So just a thought I was going to bring up to Lawrence and them is like every other week we should have somebody on that maybe one of our favorite teams is playing at the time. Just make things a little bit more crazy in here, a little bit more hectic in here. Because if I see somebody that my team's playing, I might murder somebody.
Yeah, okay. Well, in other news.
If anything, I know a guy. He's a trainer for. He did, he was a trainer with Will Parks. He's worked with DeAndre Swift and a couple other players. He's very big with working out Temple University football players.
You talking about Probe and Elite?
Yeah. So he had, he had that experience. Wait, who did you say?
You said Probe and Elite?
No.
Okay.
No. He's more of a solo type of dude. He does, But if anything, you know what I'm saying. If you guys ever wanted me to reach out to him, I could definitely reach out to him. He's a real cool dude. So
yeah, no, as I said, we're gonna chop it up once we end here. We usually talk for like 10-15 minutes. But I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Make sure you go and check out the sports page on Facebook and Instagram at IBTE Sports. Everybody's social medias is going to be in the description of this video also. I want to thank Kenny, Phil, Neil too. Even though Phil's not here right now, Dante, I want to thank you. Nigel, I want to thank you for joining tonight too. I know everybody probably got busy shit to do. Make sure y'all go and check out Inspired by True Events Network on all platforms at IBTE Network, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we out of here.
Peace.